and this. And no, this here. No, this side is Alban. I have Alban.
Shalom, ya Bashem Shabbat.
Shalom, how about Shabbat? The one there.
Like it, there's a feedback loop.
I got, yeah. I got the problem. You much better now?
Car.
You know, for Officer 500. I see it. I see you updated that quick.
Quickness.
One sec. Shalom, so you how about Shabbat? I'm on it, sir. Come on. I'm on it, sir. All right, sir. Come on, sir. You how about Shabbat?
Does that need pressing again?
No, sir. Give me some volume on the speaker over there.
Does that need pressing again?
No, it's 12. The speaker on? Is it on already? It's light on. Turn it on first. Light on, yeah? Shabbat Alban, can you hear me?
Car, okay.
Most side, quite nice and loud. You can take a seat as well with them if you want. So there's an officer 5000 Karafia under command John Johanna, filling in for Captain Mashat Mayam is on his way. Get your questions ready, line them up. You know, get your questions ready. In the meantime, any questions that anyone wants me to answer, you know, I'll try until the captain gets here. Any breakdown you're going through this week, Alban, or during camp or no?
Yeah, I'm going through a breakdown on like birthdays, Christmas, the things that people celebrate, which is of the world, and how they should, you know, love the Most High more than the world.
Okay, what precepts you got?
I've got. Let me see.
What is it?
I have Proverbs 8 and verse 32.
Let's hear it. 8 and 32, you said, yeah?
Car.
All right, you get it from me. Proverbs 8 and 32. Sure.
I think that's more to like open it. It's like that's like hear instruction. It's a good scripture to remember as well.
If you could, add Zarp on as well, please. Go hit me. Proverbs 8:32, yeah?
Cool.
Proverbs chapter 8, verse 32. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways.
Okay, so Alban, where was you going with that?
So I was just saying, like rather than listening to the world, like rather than listening to, you know, the world tells you to celebrate Christmas, celebrate your birthday, do all these things that are against the Most High.
Sorry, Alban, 1 second, sorry. If you could hit that one, please. No.
This right here.
No, not you. Yeah. And to the volume down a touch. That's 12. No. Go back to one before that. Again. Try this one. Try that one. This one. All right, most of Christ. And turn the volume down a tad, please. It's way too loud. All right, Slaki Alban. We'll read it again. If you could explain that again. Slaki, if you could.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 32. Now, therefore, hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways.
Okay, so Alban, where were you going with that? Sorry. Where do you want to take it?
Is to explain that, you know, the world tells you to celebrate Christmas and celebrate birthdays and celebrate all these things that are against God, whereas this scripture is telling you to hearken unto the Most High's ways, hearken unto what the Most High is telling you to do. The Most High is telling you to not eat pork, you know, celebrate the Passover. It's telling you to celebrate and keep the law, statutes, commandments, rather than like indulging in the wisdom of the world type thing. And
that's a perfect scripture. That's where you want to start. Let everyone know that. And you want to bring in there, when the Lord says, hearken unto my words, and say, see, my words, the Lord's words, not your mom, not your grandparents. Let them know that, listen, grandma's going to come and say, come on, it's your birthday, man. Let them know your girlfriend's going to say, come on, it's your birthday, but the Lord requires you to hire unto his words. That's what you want. You want the emphasis on hearken unto my words. And when you see, if you got a speaker, say hearken unto, you want your speaker to say my words, emphasis on the my, let them know that the Lord's speaking here. And you want to bring it back and say, whose words? And let them know, not your mother, not your grandparents. They're going to tell you, come on, it's only one day. We celebrate. They don't say all fancy stuff. Like, come on, man, it's your birthday. You're born on this day. We're celebrating life. So they don't say all fancy things to make you feel like, you know what? It sounds good, man. They don't say we're celebrating life. You know how much people are dead now that didn't make it this year? You made it, man. Celebrate. They say loads of things. And you're going to keep going back to what? Hearken unto my words. Hearken unto my words. You know what I mean? Say to them, all these things sound nice. Your grandma's going to make it sound nice. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to hearken unto the Lord's words. And the Lord don't want us celebrating Christmas. So therefore, I'm not celebrating Christmas. The Lord don't want me doing birthdays. So I'm not doing birthdays. This is a perfect scripture to start off with. What you want to do also, read on. I wouldn't finish there.
Can't, yeah, I'm reading down to 36. I'll read down to 36.
36, yeah, go on.
Another one, can't. Hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not.
There you go, man. And you let people know, listen, hear instruction and be wise. This is how you be wise, man. Being wise ain't getting no certificate, ain't getting no PhD. You're wise by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of God. Let me tell you something. In UPK, everyone can be wise, man. This is a place where everyone can be wise. In the college, some people can't be professors, man. Some people can't be engineers. Some people can't be technicians. But it's something we all can do, and that's be wise. That's being a UPK. That's something all of us can do. Just like society today. In society, everyone can't be professors, but everyone can keep the law, though. Everyone can follow the highway code. Everyone could not murder. And likewise with the Lord's law as well. It's something that everyone can do. But what's the problem? People don't want to do it. People don't want to be wise. People want to celebrate birthdays, want to give in to their grandma, want to give in to their auntie, give in to their friends, want to sell drugs because it brings them money. But everyone has the ability to be wise. Keep it in.
Can't. Blessed is the man. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates.
There you go. The Lord said, blessed is the man that what? Read it again.
Blessed is the man that heareth me.
And the Lord said, blessed is the man that hears me. And you know what I mean? It's deep because your family members are going to say, you're blessed to see another year, man. And you're going to turn around and go, oh, no, I'm not. Blessed ain't the man that sees another year. Blessed is the man that hears God, man. And what did God say? No birthdays. Your grandma going to say, blessed is the man. You know what I mean? You made it 25, man. We got to celebrate this day. You're blessed. You're going to say, nah, grand. Blessed is the man that listens to God, man. Blessed is when I don't celebrate birthday. It's when I don't blow out them candles. Which beats me anyway, man. Who wants a cake that the next man's blowing over, man? It's a luck. Now you're in the truth. You look back and you think, ugh. All this COVID-19, you got a man blowing out a candle, man, with spit particles going over a cake. God forbid it's a child's birthday. I don't eat for my own children. So luck, yeah. Anyone that knows me, if one of my children drink from a cup, I'm like, nah, I ain't drinking from that, man. In my house, we have grown people's cups and children's cups. Last thing I want is some kids spraying over my cake, man. That's saliva. Ask anyone that knows me, man. Salakia. Them colorful plastic cups. You won't catch me drinking out of them, man. Salakia, man. They're for the children only.
Right.
Man, big man, I'm drinking out of them, man. Salakia, man. That's for the children. Snotty nose kids and drooling kids, nah, man. Blowing out candles and I'm taking a slice of cake. I'm bringing one home. Nah. But like what the Bible said, blessed is the man that hears God. That's when you're blessed. Not because you celebrate some birthday. Not because you blew out some candles and made a wish, man. You're blessed when you serve the Lord. Keep it in.
Another one. Watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors.
There you go, man. You have to wait on God. A man that wants to be wise, a man that wants the blessings of God is constantly in the school, man. Constantly in class. Constantly waiting on the Lord, man. That's how you become wise. Yeah, go on.
Right.
Learning every single breakdown, learning every single scripture, asking for counsel, asking the man, you know what? I got a woman, What do you think about her? You know what I mean? Before you even buy a car, you come to the Lord. Anything you do, you come to the man of the Lord. That's a man watching at the Lord's gate daily and night, man. It's like you want to say something? Oh, no. All right, carry on, please, Baba Kushar. All right. Is that it, Raban?
Down to 36.
36, Baba Kushar.
to read.
Yeah, verse 35 and 36.
Can't another one can't. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord.
Read that again.
For whoso findeth me findeth life.
Look what the Lord said, man. The Lord said, who finds me finds life. You find the Lord, black man, you find life, man.
That's right.
Meaning what? The life you had before wasn't really life. The Lord said, if you find me, you find life. To find God, you was already living. You can't be dead and find God. You already, what he's saying is the life you're living before wasn't even life. You call it life, but it wasn't really life. Give me that in Baruch 4:1. Hold that. Give me Baruch 4:1. I'm going to show you that if you don't follow the Lord, you ain't even alive. The Lord don't consider your life a life unless you're in the UPK, man. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much champagne you pop. I don't care how much whores you have sex with. Your life ain't worth living unless you're in the truth, man.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
And this is the book of the commandments of God. Baruch is reading from it. So this is the commandment. This is the book where you find out what to eat, from what not to eat, how to dress, from how not to dress, how to treat a woman, from how not to treat a woman. This is the book of the commandment. You know what a commandment is? A commandment are military orders, man. Strict do's and don'ts. They ain't suggestions. They ain't maybes. They are command. This is the book of the commandment. We done?
And the law that endureth forever.
And the law that endures forever, man. This ain't no time stipulations. Christians make out like the law was good in the time of Moses, but now we've advanced from that. Nah, not in the Bible I'm reading from. The Bible I'm reading from said this law endures forever, man. 2022, guess what? You still can't eat pork, man. 2024, you still can't eat pork. 2020, if Christ don't come back, you still can't eat pork, man. Why? Because this law endures forever. Keep reading.
Can't. All they that keep it shall come to life.
And all them that keep his commandment shall come to life. It's saying the exact same thing the law saying in Proverbs, man. If you keep the law, then you're alive. Now, to keep a law, you had to already be alive to keep it. You already was alive. To keep something, you already got to be alive. So what's the law talking about, man? The law talking about you're really living. I think Tupac said it best, man. Tupac said, listen, man, you know what I mean? I'm living, man. I got the big screen TV, the car, and that's not true. To really be living is to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of God, man. You're not alive, black man, if you're smoking weed. You ain't alive if you're eating pork. You ain't alive if you're having LGBT sex and whatnot, man. And that's a whole breakdown in itself.
That's right.
Real life when you follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep it in.
Can't. But such as leave it shall die.
But such that leave the law should die. Like Adam, man. Adam didn't literally die. We know Adam, the Lord said the day you eat this fruit, Adam, you're going to die. And Adam lived to 900, man. He's not talking about a literal death. He didn't learn of the tree of knowledge of good and evil and die. I mean, the life he was living is like, what life is that, man? You're following the Lord. You're kicked out of the land now. Well, back then they called it the garden. You're working for other nations. That ain't life, man. And black man, listen to this. The Lord said that to work for another nation ain't living. So what are we doing in 2022? We ain't living, man. Working for the Indian man, working for the Chinese man, no land of our own. You know what I mean? A woman don't respect us. We got no God of our own. We think the white man God's our God. We think the Chinese man God. We think Buddha's our God. We think, Kung Fu and black people are in everything. How black people are living as a whole, we're not living, man. People look at us as we're not considered living. That's why police kill us. And nothing because anyone seen the new Jeffrey Dahmer documentary? Jeffrey Dahmer was a madman, man, that moved to a black neighborhood and killed 14 people, and 11 of them were black. And he purposely moved to a black neighborhood because he knew what? Ain't nobody gonna try to find these black people, man. And he was right. He was right, man. He got away with it for years because ain't no one looking for black people. Black people got missing them, like, so they put the CIA in America needed money to finance the war. And what did they do? Put crack in whose neighborhood? The Chinese man neighborhood. The Russians, the Italians, no, the black man's neighborhood. Why we ain't living? To them, they're like, oh, some black people, man. Who cares if we kill a couple hundred of them? Who cares if we kill who cares if we kill them? Who cares if their kids are on crack? Black man, our life ain't living, man. And we gotta keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of God and get that life back, man. Drop that. Go back to Proverbs 8:35.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 35. For whoso findeth me findeth life.
I mean, you find the Lord, you find life, man. You find the Lord, you find life. You men that come in the UPK, your life is living now, man. You are literally living. You weren't living when you were smoking weed. You weren't living when you was, doing all types of wickedness, but you're living now. Keep it in. In fact, let me get that real quick. Someone give me Hosea 13:1. I'm gonna give you a quick history lesson. We're gonna get back. I'll show you what it means to be living.
Come on. Book of Hosea, chapter 13 and verse 1. When Ephraim spake, trembling, he exalted himself in Israel.
There you go. So, anyone knows my history, our land was split into two, Judah and Israel. And Israel said, you know what? We're not going to follow their God no more. We're not going to follow the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're going to make our own God. This is what the Bible is talking about. And Israel exalted himself. So, you know what? Judah ain't the king no more. We ain't going to Jerusalem no more. We're going to have our own God. And he set up two calves in Israel. He said that Jerusalem was too far away. You know what I mean? 1 minute. So like I'll pass it over to I'm hand over to priest and prophet. I'll catch up 13,000. Catch him shot my young. All right, clap it up, guys. Clap it up.
What we looking like here?
So what's the album? We go to a breakdown Saturday. Lord allow about birthdays. See what ammunition you got.
Okay. He wanna teach us on the street?
Come on.
All right. Yeah, I like the setup here.
It's one already.
Say again?
It's one and that as well.
Okay. I'm gonna make this bigger, all right?
That's not the screen though, sir. That's your person.
Yeah, that's just so I can see easily. You know what I mean? All right. I'll also add you on that destination we talk about.
I'll do it right now.
Yeah. Let me get a paper towel too. Somebody, please.
Okay.
Grab my paper towel, please. Yeah, just a couple of them. All right. So what we looking like?
So we was in the book of Hosea, chapter 13, verse.
I ain't hearing him too well. Say it again, Rob.
We was in the book of Hosea 13 and verse 1.
Okay. What you wanted to find out about it?
I think Karathi was breaking down how, when we serve the Most High, we're great, but when we start serving other nations, that's when we sort of diminish. And
okay,
it was coming off the back of Baruch chapter 4.
Was what?
13.
13 and 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it behind you, sir. I'm not seeing it. Tobago.
No. You had to add it.
Well, I did. Oh,
yeah, you had to put it. Yeah, that's the what. To what? You had to go in. You know what I mean? And add it as a destination from your John. Okay. What you say, Hosea? What again, Mark?
Hosea 13. Sorry, Hosea 13 and 1.
It was off topic, though, sir. I was gonna go somewhere. Gotta go back. He said on the scripture, it said that if you keep those commandments, come to life. So they're gonna bounce somewhere else, but it wasn't on topic. So.
Okay, so this was about what?
The scripture said that if you find the Lord, you find life.
Right.
So I'll show the brothers that to die in the Bible not always mean literal death. Hosea.
Okay. And he was using this for the birthdays?
Come on, cousin.
Okay. No. Let me get something to drink though, please. The water or water and strong, if I could. I'm good there. I ain't upset nothing.
No.
Okay. So Rob, and you wanted more info about birthdays?
Like I said, those are just the scriptures that I'm gonna break down on Saturday.
Okay. Was there a question about anything else?
I did have one scripture, if I could get the breakdown on. Is in Proverbs. Let's see. It was in Proverbs chapter 27 and verse from verse 11 to 14. I'm not sure if it's talking about the same thing, but I think I'll have that backstory. Forget that.
Okay. Proverbs what? Say it again.
Proverbs chapter 27 and from verse 11.
Okay.
It's verse 14 I'm having a bit of trouble with.
I say one more time. Proverbs 1.
Proverbs 27 and verse 14. That's the scripture I'm having a look.
I got you.
Read on.
Karate, this had a type now.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Not now, but I just moved it on it. 27 and 14, right?
Khan.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, read it for me.
Khan. If I could, should I read from verse 11 just to give a bit of.
If you want to, that's
Khan.
fine.
Book of Proverbs chapter 27, verse 11. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me.
Mm-hmm. All right. Everybody understand that one? You want to read it one more time?
Come on. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me.
All right. Who have it? Who understands what he's saying?
You're saying that if you raise your son correctly, like you can laugh at your enemy, or
You in the neighborhood. Yeah, the right idea. Come on.
Is it something about understanding? Like they will understand me reproaching me.
Reproach is okay. Somebody look up the meaning of reproach. All right. Look up the meaning of the reproach. You have a dictionary on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in the Bible? So can the Bible dictionary? My Bible dictionary?
Reproach might be a regular word if you look it up on your phone. Yeah. Look it up on your phone. It might be in the Bible dictionary because it's a biblical word for sure. But that's probably where once you find out the meaning of reproach.
I have a definition here.
Please go ahead, Al.
Okay. Reproach, blame or criticism for something you have done.
Right. So now read the scripture one more time.
My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me.
All right. So now, you want to try it now? So
is
the reproach is criticism or blame or charge.
So if you're getting someone blaming you for something and you're getting criticized, don't be like get mad and try and understand.
A little bit different.
Okay.
A little bit different. Read it one more time, Robin. Unless you have it, Robin.
Khan, if I could.
Go ahead, let me hear you.
Is it obviously it's a father instructing a son to follow his instructions, to follow the law, so follow how he raised up that son. So that if anyone tries to come and say, coming against the father, saying, "Oh, you're a bad father," or trying to criticize him, you can tell by how his son is that he's taught him the law, he's taught him the right way, he knows the right way.
If somebody comes to criticize who?
The father.
For what? Or about?
Is it for how the son's behaving?
That's it.
Come on.
You understand? It's telling the son. Read it one more time.
Khan. My son, be wise and make my heart glad.
Right? Be wise and make my heart glad. What would make every father glad about his son? What? Following the law, statutes, and commandments. What else could make him glad? Huh? Just mute where you are. It's not muted yet.
I can all right.
You need me to do it yet? Okay. Okay. He should be all right now. I just muted you, all right? Who's that? Tizap one? Yeah, Tizap one, I just muted your mic, all right? Whenever you're ready to get back in, just unmute yourself, all right? You hear me? Tizap one, you hear me?
Another one, Khan. Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
It's the one. It's all good. Okay, so what else would make a father, happy? Keeping the laws of the Lord. What else?
Keeping his laws.
Keeping his laws, what he wants. Of course, this is from the perspective that the father serves the Lord.
Right.
You get the point? Not from the worldly perspective where the parents we grew up with. Because if that's the case, then we could never stop being Christian or Muslim or anything else. You understand? So a father really wants the son to grow like how he grew him. A good example of this would be Mattathias in the Maccabees. Remember Mattathias? Mattathias had what, 5 sons, I believe? 6 or 5? I believe it was 5 sons, right? And Judas was one of them. Judas was, I think, the second son. Simon was the oldest. It was like 5 of them running down. And when he talked about his sons, when he talked to them, you could tell he grew them up right. And remember, the Greek king, the man he sent, told Mattathias, "You are well known among your people, and you are right and upright, and you order your house well." He was giving him praise, so you already know his son's going to be a certain way. And of course, Judas, he was wise, like how the scripture is saying, "Be wise and what?"
It says, "My son, be wise and make my heart glad."
Right? He was wise and he made his father's heart glad. Right? Why? Because the enemies who would come now and would be able to run over Israel, if Judas wasn't strong, they would have been able to say Mattathias was a punk, man. He raised a whole ton of punks. You get the point? But because he did not do that, because he raised men according to the Spirit of the Lord, Judas was able to reproach them. He was able to come up against them who would reproach his father. You get the point? The reproach don't even have to come face to face. The reproach could come long after due to reputation. You understand? Due to the reputation of the man, the reproach could come long after it. You understand, Robert?
Correct.
All right, go ahead.
Khan. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself.
One more thing. Just thinking about how Israel is, right? Just thinking about how Israel is. Just picture the disrespect that would come to a man if his son different. You get the point? What's a good example of that? We was talking about it the other day. We was going to London.
They like Dwayne Wade.
Ninja Man and Ninja Man's son. You remember that? You all know who Ninja Man is, right? Right. Ninja Man have a son who is a member of the LGBTQ community. And, everybody was like, "Ninja, what happened? How your son turns?" No, really, no. Ninja give him a good answer. You make the child, you can't make the mind. Meaning when the child get old enough, that child can do what the hell they want to do. You don't have no idea which direction this person gonna go. You could grow them the best you want to, but after that, that's that. So, but in the first place, Ninja Man should have been able to, tell him, "Watch your mouth. He ain't this, he ain't that, blah, blah, blah," and produce the cause. But he couldn't do it because the son didn't grow. He wasn't wise, and he didn't care about making his father glad. Like this here is a good scripture for if you have a child that has understanding. Right? Children develop understanding at different stages in their life. Depends on the environment, depends on things they experience young. If you have a child that has understanding, this is a good scripture because that connection between a child and a parent, it could save that child tremendous pain in life. And what do I mean by tremendous pain? Some things a child would resist, or a young adult or a teenager will resist because the thought of their parents finding out and being disappointed will crush them.
Right.
Will crush them. You see it with young kids, much like Officer Karafia's kid here. I don't know if you remember last time when he pulled down the incest. Karafia face done turn already, just on the thought and shit. Okay, I saw something that was so right. I don't know if you remember when he pulled it down, you say, "Yashi, come on, man." And then he turned and he watched. And then you kind of push him to the side to pick up the stuff. And he started to cry uncontrollably. You didn't even have to hit him. What he felt was your disappointment. And that's gold. That's golden. If he's reacting like that now, brother, you had to harness that. You had to keep that. You had to go back and tell him it's okay. Don't worry, better luck next time. Because now, in his mind, what that showed is he doesn't want to disappoint his father. You get the point? His father being mad hurts him more than any belt. brother, if you could hone in on that on a child and harness that all the way up to adulthood, you would have done your job. There's no greater conviction than disappointing somebody you absolutely love and revere and hold in a high esteem. You find somebody like that who you totally love and revere and hold in a high esteem, and is like a father figure, or Esau calls them mentors. It's like how they have mentors. You have somebody like that in your life that their disappointment is enough for you to just, it hits you like a train. Brother, you'll do well. You'll do very well. Go ahead. Okay, I did. So check your notifications. It might take a minute. Sometimes it take a little while. Just check your notifications. It should come. No sweat. Just keep watching it. It'll keep refreshing it. It should come through. If it don't sweat it. You know what I mean? So you understand, Robin? That's what it's saying in that verse. All right, go ahead.
A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself,
Mm-hmm.
but the simple pass on and are punished.
All right, what does that say? Read it one more time.
Come on. But the simple pass on and are punished.
Read it one more time.
Salakia.
1 second, Tizap one. Read it one more time from the top, Rabbi.
Come on. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself.
All right.
But the simple pass on and are punished.
But the simple pass on and are punished. Go ahead, Tizap one.
Salakia on, yeah. It was just chopping a bit. So a wise man will see, sin or whatsoever, and he won't take. He will,
a wise man will see what?
Deviate. A wise man will see corruption or see evil, and he will shun himself from it or hide from it, not take part in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And but the fool will go and fall right in the trap.
The fool would go on. He would ignore what?
The signs. He will ignore the signs of, like say for instance, bad company, or what the scripture says, don't follow those to go and shed innocent blood.
Mm-hmm.
But the fool will go ahead and follow bad company or bad examples.
All right. Now relate that back to what we just read with the son and the father. So now the one who sees the evil, what is he seeing?
So
1 second. Go ahead to Zap one.
He's seeing the sin. Or he's seeing the sin.
You're right, but related back to what we just read in the verse before.
So like I said,
go ahead.
No sweat.
Go
ahead, Robert.
I was just gonna say, so he sees something that could happen that would disappoint his father or that father figure.
That's true. He sees something that happened that would disappoint his father, but what is he seeing?
I'm not sure.
Karafia?
Is he seeing the stuff that his father told him not to do?
He's seeing the instructions that his father gave him. He's seeing what his father taught him. That's what he's seeing as he's looking at this thing here. As he analyzes the situation, the environment, the choice that's there. There's always a choice in front of you. As he's seeing it, he's recalling what his father taught him, right? That's what it said. A prudent man foreseeing evil. A prudent man means what? What's prudent mean?
Wise, like it.
Wise, or very, it's the best way, like very circumspect in how as you make decisions. You're prudent. You go and get down to the detail of it. You're not taking these things lightly, right?
Vigilant.
Diligence is a good way to do it, right? That's how he would see it. Now, what's the other type of man?
But the simple,
the simple one. What is in this case? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ak.
Yeah, I was gonna say vigilant. Other one, vigilant.
Vigilant would be for the prudent brother, but for the simple one, when they say the simple pass on, what does that mean?
That means the simple, the man who don't see our instruction. Pass, you see the signs.
Pass. What does he pass on? What does he pass on? He passes on. Go ahead, Robin.
So he sees something that his father would have instructed him on, but he doesn't see any of it. So he passes on. He bypasses his father's instruction.
Say that one more time.
So he sees something that his father will have instructed him on, but he bypasses it. He doesn't adhere to the instruction.
So what is he passing by? What is he bypassing?
He's bypassing his father's instruction.
He is bypassing the father's instructions, the wisdom his father gave. He is, bypassing that. If we hear any feedback when you talk, you talking to somebody else?
Oh, Slakia, now I just mumbling what Robin is saying there.
I hear it every word. That ain't a mumble. If that's a mumble, if you shout, I don't know what's gonna happen. You can't tell a secret out. So he's bypassing what the father told him to do, right? He's bypassing that thing that could help him out. You understand? He's bypassing that wisdom that would save him. In other words, he's ignoring the better choice. He's ignoring wisdom. And that's somebody who's simple. Somebody who is simple, they can't learn from you telling them go left instead of going right. They can't learn that way. They have to learn the other way. You understand?
Correct.
They have to learn the other way. And what's the other way?
It's like I said, if I could.
Go ahead.
The other way would be, for example, a father tells a son not to, be careful who you hang around with. The son doesn't listen to that instruction and ends up in, an altercation, maybe something like gang related. He's punished for not listening to the instruction.
That's the word I want. There's a reason I want that particular word. Anybody know why? Right? He don't listen to what the father say, Rabban, and he hangs around with certain people. He gets into an altercation, and what happened?
He gets punished.
He gets punished. Why do I want that word?
If I could.
Is it because if we don't follow the instructions?
No.
Slakia.
Go ahead to top one.
Slakia, is that because that's his reward? Or that will be the reward? Is that because that will be the reward for his
That's not why I want that word. That's not why I want that word. It's even simpler than that.
It's like it, sir, if I could.
Go ahead.
Is it because that's the word that's used in the verse?
Give him a hand. That's the word that the Lord recorded. The Lord recorded that word. So now you know that the consequence for whatever you decide to ignore from what you've been taught, when you're dealing with that, just know that's the Lord punishing you.
Right.
All right. And it's happened to every one of us at some stage in life where you knew better. And you get yourself in a jam and it's like, Lord, why me? Because you didn't do what I tell you to do. And now you got to go through this hell. It's a punishment. You get the point? Punishment. Simple only learns through punishment. There's somebody who learns by teaching. 1 + 1 is 2. Fire is hot. Don't touch that stove. Look left and right before you cross the street, or right and left, whichever country you're in. A whole host of different things. And then there's somebody who had to get knocked down before they stop doing that. Yeah, I mean, I know some people personally who get, ran over by cars 3 and 4 times before they stop just running out into the street. But these are young kids. They just don't listen. They don't learn. but now they had to get punished for it. You get the point?
Correct.
But that's simple. Somebody who can't listen to anything. They refuse to listen to anything. They don't care to listen to anything. You get the point? You're telling them one thing. You're telling them soft, easy. Another version of this is somebody who you have to scream and yell at and get absolutely aggressive before they even hear something. That's a simple person. As a nation, we are simple people. We're not a wise set of people. We're not, particularly super intelligent. And when I say intelligent, I'm not talking about book sense. I'm talking about with just regular common sense. As a nation, we're not like that. Because if we were like that, we wouldn't be scared to be quote unquote racist. Because why? What does that mean? What does racist really mean? Racist really means a love for your own. Or if you want to get technical, prejudice. Prejudice, because they say racism is prejudice plus power. Prejudice is having an unbalanced love or affection or affinity for one thing or the other. You might be prejudiced to a particular football team. You might be prejudiced to a particular, color. You might be prejudiced to something else. Race is when racism, it's all right, baby. Don't worry about it. I like the smoke. I like it. I want all. Don't even worry about it. All right. Racism is when you take that prejudice, that liking for that particular race, and you start doing things to either positively affect that race or negatively affect that race based on your personal liking. That's what racism really is by definition. We cannot be racist, but we could be prejudiced. We could take on full prejudice all the way that, how that the name of that book, Pride and Prejudice. We could be proud and prejudiced at the same time for us, buying for us, only dealing with us, only renting from us, only buying food from us, only buying clothes from us. Everything is us. If we were wise, we would do that. You know who's wise? The other nations, the children of Mammon. That's what Christ said. If my people were as wise as the children of Mammon, we would have the kingdom already. But we are not that type of people. We're not the way they are, because their wisdom comes from them being evil as well. And their evil, their motives make them more cunning, make them more deceitful, make them, way more, grimy. We're not naturally like that. We're like good children, good house children who then never get to walk the streets by themselves, always have a parent there. When those children get out on their own, they're a little bit more timid than everybody else. They're a little bit more, they ain't had all the experience in the street as some other children. That's the nations. The nations is the one who are without the parent. That's the best way to put it. And because of that, we're a little bit simple, because our father would say something and we think we could rationalize it with, dietary laws or, laws of anything. We always try to rationalize our way around the Lord when we should just listen. And now what we do, we face punishment. You get the point?
Right.
We are that child who did not make the father proud, so he can't answer the reproach. You understand? The world is making fun of the Lord. The world is making fun of the Most High, not because of him, but because of us. You understand? Because of us. You know why the world half the world is not Muslim, but they respect them Muslims. They respect what they say. They respect offending them goddamn Muslims. Anybody know why? Anybody know why they have a respect for them and their God? Because them Arabs is living it up in that religion. They're living all the way fully with it. We are not following our father. So now our father has to get ridiculed. Our father has to get, not get taken seriously. You understand? You tell somebody you are a real Jew, that what's the first thing they do? They laugh. So, how the hell you could be a Jew? You a nigger from Brum. How you could be a Jew? They laugh. That's what happens when you don't obey your father. You get the point, Rabban? All right, that was it, or you wanted more?
A bit more. Going into 13 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman.
Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, Read it one more time, Salaki.
I can't. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger,
Mm-hmm.
and take a pledge of him for a strange woman.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him.
Salaki, let's go back to 13. That's something else. It's 13 where you wanted the breakdown?
It's both 13 and 14.
Okay, no sweat. Take his garment as a surety for a stranger, and take a pledge for him, take a pledge of him for a strange woman. What does that mean?
Take his garment.
At the top.
Surety for
The surety like standing for somebody.
Surety is like a guarantee. It's like a collateral and go for loan. You go to the bank for a loan, they want a certain amount of collateral, right? You got to come with some sort of property, something to put up in case you default on this loan, they could seize something else. So it's like a surety or a guarantee, right? You go to sign a lease, they need a guarantor. Somebody who, if you ain't pay, they could file legal claim to get their money. You get the point? Second? What is 27 and 13, right, Robert? 13? Go ahead.
Take his garment as surety for
So what? Go ahead. What's up, man?
I just wanted to know what chapter it was.
Okay, no sweat.
So like I said, if I could,
Go ahead.
is it saying like the punishment in some situations where a son would disobey his father would be that the father would give away his garment to a stranger to punish his son's disobedience?
Okay, yes and no.
Okay.
Not the father taking it, but somebody who's simple. A stranger could come and take your goods because you're simple.
Right.
That's the spirit behind it. Now, this here, okay, books like Proverbs, parts of Psalms, Ecclesiasticus, not all the verses relate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those books are really like advice. It's like sitting down with somebody who is your senior, somebody who is your better, and let's say like you going off, what's your brother? You going off on a long trip, or you going somewhere that you don't normally be, right? You're a young boy. There's England. You're a young boy. You get a call up to Chelsea or Manchester, and you from, I don't know, what's one of them cities in the south besides London? Bristol,
Gloucester.
You from somewhere else, and you have somebody there, a veteran, somebody your senior, your better or bigger brother, and he's sitting down on that last night before you leave, and he just giving you advice. And when you go down there, man, listen, be careful. Don't trust nobody. Don't let nobody come in your house. Watch out for them women. If you're gonna buy a car, call me first. It doesn't necessarily relate one to the other. It's just a cluster of advice. So as you read it, you'll start seeing it where these three verses go together. The next one don't have nothing to do with them three. Then the next one after that don't have nothing to do with the one before. And it might be four more that go together. You get the point?
Correct.
That's what, when you read those, it's really advice. It's really like a father to a son or a big brother to a younger brother with sometimes you find that would happen a whole ton of times. Sometimes you might go, your brothers will go to the Passover, or sisters, you'll go to the Passover or something, and you'll sit down there with a sister that done been down there, grew up in the damn truth. And you just start posing questions, throwing out questions. And then he or she start running shit down. Running a whole ton of shit down. And if somebody was there writing that thing down, that's how Ecclesiastes would read or Proverbs would read. It's not like they all flow. It's like, this one time I went here, never do this shit. And, when you go down there, don't do that. I learned this young. Don't ever do this. Breastfeeding, something. When you're young, do something with the baby for the teeth. It's just advice. It's just a whole cluster of advice. You get the point?
Correct.
So this here could be related back, but it also could be separate. Meaning, okay, for a simple person, this is what would happen to you. A stranger gonna come and take your shit from you because you simple. You get the point? He gonna take it from you as a surety for you. You get the point? Because you simple. Nobody could trust you with nothing. You understand? And on its own, if you're dealing with a stranger, take something as a surety. Don't just give them some goods hoping they return. You have to take something for surety. What's the other part say?
It says, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman.
And take a pledge of him for a strange woman. You get the point? Where is this? Where you could see this happening before? This last part here definitely happened.
Slakiadon.
Go ahead.
Is that with Judah? Judah and Tamar?
That's absolutely right, Val. That happened with Judah and Tamar, where Judah damn near didn't deal honorably with Tamar, right? I forget which son she was married to. The Lord killed him. Then she was supposed to marry another one of the sons. I don't think it was Onan. Onan was a wicked ass nigga. There's another one. I think Judah had like 3 or 4 sons. Go ahead.
Oh, Slakiadon. I was gonna say Onan was the second one because he's the one that didn't raise up the seed.
He didn't raise up the seed. He didn't get it. Right. So the first one, I forget how he died. I don't know if he was wicked or what. But Onan was the second one, didn't raise up seed in him. The Lord killed him. Then she was promised to the youngest son. And some shit happened where Judah didn't honor the shit. He didn't honor the shit. And Tamar was, she was wrought about it. So in order to get what was due to her, because remember, when a woman loses her husband, she has a right to the brother, right? If she wants to marry the brother, right? If she could refuse, but if she wants to marry the brother, she has a right to that. Now, she had the youngest boy. I think the Lord killed all 3 sons, and Judah was scared. Go ahead.
No. Jaleel, or I can't remember the name, the third one's name. The Lord didn't kill him, but Judah didn't want to give it to him because he's thinking in himself. Two of his sons are.
The Lord killed all the sons before, but that youngest one who she was supposed to marry, Judah thought, I can't give up this boy because I don't want to lose him. And he reneged on the deal, right? So now she being wrought with it, what she did was dress herself like a prostitute, covering her face, only her eyes open. If you ever want a precept for them packy ways of dressing, that's how all would dress in ancient time. Covering up the eyes, you only see in the eyes. So what that COVID mask down is the shit. COVID mask with the covering. Because why? Because all you could see is the eyes, and as a man, you fantasize in behind there, and she comes seduce it. Tamar had to dress like a prostitute and trick Judah into having sex with her. She kept his chain as payment because Judah said, listen, I ain't got no money now. Judah's wife died. He was alone for a minute. He needed some affection. She came, she presented herself right there where she knew he would pass after dealing with the sheep. She kept his chain, right? Which is, again, our culture to wear these chains. You have a chain saying Karafia. You have a chain saying Ariala. You might have a chain saying, the garrison of Leicester. Right, brother, Radayala. You have a chain that everybody knows that's yours. He gave it to her. She said, well, listen, he said, I don't have any money right now. She said, I'll give you pleasure. He said, listen, hold this chain as a surety that I may see. When I see you next time, I'll pay you, and then that's how I'll get my chain back. You get the point? So she kept the chain, and then afterwards she went in. Somebody find it for me. Let's read it just a little bit. She kept the chain and then found him later and charged him for reneging on the deal. Shalom. Mama, I in class, all right? You want me to give you a call back? All right, I'll teach you in class, all right? Or you could text me. All right. All right, shalom. All right. What you say it is?
Genesis 38:18.
38?
Oh, God.
I know sweat. Pull it up, Ariel.
Which book is it? Genesis 38:18. Genesis
38 and 18.
The book of Genesis, chapter 38, verse.
Start at 12.
The book of Genesis, chapter 38, verse 12.
You could have a seat in it, unless you come more comfortable reading Steinberg. No sweat.
And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up unto the sheep shearers, Salakia, sheep shearers, to Timnath. He and his friend, Hirah, and Adulamite.
The Adulamite. So Judah's wife died, right? And, he was comforted by going up and tending to the sheep, right? Like any brother, you lose your rib to death or something like that, it's going to be difficult. So he went up there on his land to tend to his sheep with his friend, his homie. That's what usually happens. Something happened to you as a brother, your brother is the next best thing. Whether it's a physical brother or your homie, you grab him and you all go somewhere, do whatever you all do, whether it's working out, going for a run, sitting down having a drink, something. And that could bring comfort to you in that time of grief. Keep going.
And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up unto Timnath to shear his sheep.
Go ahead.
And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way of Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife.
Right, Shelah is the youngest son. That's what Judah promised her, that she'll get this young boy. And she waiting years for him to come of age. Judah reneged on the deal. So once it was told to her, she take her widow's garments off, and she put on a different garment, and she went and sat on her way up to Timnath, meaning he have to pass her to get to where he going or coming from. Right, go ahead.
When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot, because she had covered her face.
You understand? Because she done covered her face. That's, that old Egyptian, and they're swinging the hips and shit. That's a whole garment. And that's why our sisters don't dress like them Arabs and them Pakis. You understand? There's a ton of hoeing up under them damn burkas. Don't get confused. Brothers, if you see them things and they hold, what's it famous? Khadijah. All of them named Khadijah in some way. They all think that old Khadijah, alhamdulillah, is holiness. Is a alhamdulillah rod everywhere. Every which way from Sunday. You understand? Right? So he perceived her to be a harlot. Go ahead.
And he turned unto her by the way and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come unto thee. Salakia, let me come unto thee.
Let me come in unto thee, meaning, let's get it on. Right, go ahead.
For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law.
Right, now think about how covered she had to be for him not to even recognize her. Think about her dress, for how she had to be. He didn't even recognize her. That should let you know that filth them Arabs doing is whole time. That's that whole thing, because why? You don't want to be recognized because of the only hoeing you're doing. So when you're off the clock, you get dressed regular and everybody think you pretty Patel. But you know what I mean?
And she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me?
Right? I always like to use this for a few lessons for brothers. One lesson is, don't ever think for a second that you're smarter than Eve. And I'm saying smarter in this context. A woman, because she cannot physically fight you and knock you off, she has to come up with another way to have power over you, which requires what?
Strategy.
Thinking. That's right. She had to sit on and measure. Okay, he like this. He like that. He don't like this shit. This shit stress him out, but he don't respond right away. She studying. MC Light had a song back in the day, I cram to understand you. You should go listen to it. She said, I cram to understand you. Meaning, like how you cram to study a test? That's how she's studying her man. I cram so I could understand you. Right? You should go listen to her, give you some insight. Don't never think, she's a woman, she just simple sitting there. You watch her, brother, because she'll make light work of you real quick. Ask them brothers who they jail. And I know over here they don't put you in jail for child support. But ask them brothers in the States who's sitting in a cell for child support. Ask them how they get there. They'll be like, man, you know what this bitch done did? They'll say that straight up. Go look up a video of Washington, D.C. had a mayor called Marion Barry. Anybody ever heard of him?
No.
You ever heard them mention him? This was a brother. You all know D.C. is the capital of America. D.C. for sure is called Chocolate City. Wasn't always like that. But Marion Barry was a brother who was mayor of D.C. and he was a brother, where he put policies and shit in place to help a lot of black people. Right? On the political side, give black people a ton of jobs, started summer programs for the kids while the parents had the government jobs. People would go to him for problems in his office. He was like a people's person. But of course, being a brother in the world, wasn't he in the world, so he ain't perfect. He had a serious crack addiction, right? And they, in addition to that, he would go in the mayor's council and be cussing them crackers out for DC black people. I mean, lighting them up. And they hated him. So, of course, the FBI set him up on a sting operation to catch him with the crack. And they have a video in the hotel room with him with some broad, and he in there in the full suit and everything. And she bring out the crack, and he getting ready to light it up, and they kick in the door. And he look around, he's like, shit. Then he look and he see the girl and he's like, this bitch set me up, and he walk off. But you ever see the video, you'll laugh at. I'll show you how popular he was. Of course, I think they stripped him down. I can't remember if he did any time for it. But I think he stepped down from being the mayor, or he wasn't the mayor again. Then he ran again for mayor, and DC voted him right back at. The black people came out. They called him mayor for life because of how much he would help black people and go to war for black people. Like I'm telling you, I hear older brothers talk about him, and they say he would curse them crackers out in that mayor's council and shit like that. He wasn't like your modern day politician. He was like the wrong nigga they let in, and they made a mistake letting him in. It was like that. You could tell it was a big regret. But a woman helped take him down. Look at Samson. You get the point? Mm. So now Tamar is here, not doing this for evil. She's doing this for a right reason. She's entitled to that husband. There's a deal that was made. She can't meet him in the street with her staff. She a woman. She gonna get her ass whooped. So she had to figure out another way to bring him to his knees. So she sat there knowing he done grieving over this woman. Which brother gonna pass up some meat? Yeah, be extremely disciplined. So this was his problem at this point, and she saw it. So he came down. He said, "Come lay with me." She said, "And what will thou give me?" Setting it up. She laying it down. That's not an innocent question she's asking. She's setting the play up. Right? Go ahead.
And he said, "I will send thee a kid from the flock." And she said, "Wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it?"
Why is she saying that?
Because he could not pay. Go.
He could not have sex with her and don't ever send the sheep. She say, "Listen, you're gonna have to leave something here. You gotta leave a pledge for it." Right? Go ahead. And of course, here she's acting like a strange woman, like in Proverbs. Go ahead.
And he said, "What pledge shall I give thee?"
Right? He ain't thinking. He's not thinking like, this is warfare here, which is how you damn near how you have to be with a sister. You gotta look at her like the takedown of takedowns. Because brother, smarter is not the best word because it could be taken out of context. She have a little bit more guile than you. Because she has to. Just like, this is the perfect example. Take a brother who grew up in Brom, Leicester, Nottingham, black places, versus a white boy who grew up in London or Manchester. Who has more street wisdom and street sense and common sense on how to deal with certain shit? Say it again to top one, speak up, huh?
That's like on the black boy straight.
Why?
Because he's got that street knowledge, man. He's been around. He's been through it all basically. He's been through the highs and the lows. He's taken hits. He's bounced back and all those.
That's true. Something else, Ariella?
Even if it's not a roadman, other one, the chances of him having people in his family that were roadmen are very high.
That's true, but there's another reason. There's another, even let's say he's not even a roadman. Let's say he's just a regular brother. He going to school, he doing whatever. He involved in nothing. Just the way he has to operate is different. Go ahead.
Because he's not privileged.
He ain't privileged like the white boy. So he had to find other ways to cross the same street, to jump the same hurdle that white boy do it. He had to find other ways. He had to come with some sort of game and gimmick. You ever see white rappers versus black rappers? Do the white rappers look any extra way? Do they, come with all the tattoos and the piercings and the extra shit? Or they look relatively normal versus a brother who have to do a whole ton of extra shit. Get a good example. Sean Paul. You all remember Sean Paul, right?
Correct.
You all remember when Gimme the Light blew up? As a Benjamin, was you surprised that Gimme the Light? Was it like a big thing to you? Why not?
You just want to definitely, it's like these guys, these different, like from another nation, and they're just copying our thing, so it's not really no big thing.
Ain't no really no big thing. And added to that, Gimme the Light blew up about 3 or 4 years after it really came out. It blew up when it hit America. But Sean Paul didn't do anything extra to get there. He was just regular. And then he went to the top. He was on everything. Singing with Beyonce, everything featuring movies. Young Boy Alkaline came out. What he had to do first off the break from the rip? What he had to do? Tattoo his eyes. He had to do some extra shit to get noticed. Vibes Cartel, trying to get outside, had to go bleach his skin, do a whole ton of tattoo shit just to get noticed. Like, we always have to come up with another way to get power versus the heathen. The heathen don't have to do that. They just had to appear like how we appear, and they're gone. That's how them Africans taking over that Afro music right now. You get the point? They don't have to do nothing too special. They have to do nothing too special, but that's how it always is, because we don't operate from a position of power. So because we don't have no power, we had to, we had to do a little circumventing. We had to do a little bit of strategy. We can't just come straight out and say what it is. We had to do things a little bit different. Police pull you over, you have to talk to him a certain way. A white boy, get the fuck out of here, you wanker. They're cussing them out because they have a position of power. We don't. And when you don't have power, brother, in the scripture tell you that, brother, you go before a lion or a king, you got to watch yourself. Because he have power. You don't. You got to watch yourself. You got to take your time. Watch how you step. You get the point? Keep reading on.
And she said, and she said, thy signet and thy bracelets and thy staff that is that in thine hand. And he gave it to her and came unto her, and she conceived by him.
Right. So now he said that signet and that with the staff and the bracelet. She take 3 things or 3 witnesses against him. This is evidence, not just one where somebody could say she stole it off of him. And these is personal things. This is the staff, like, oh, you are the staff. That staff is that's our tradition. Take the chain. That's our tradition. Even in the rap game, there's somebody sign somebody. It used to be like that. I don't know how much it is now. The whoever is the big artist would put the chain on the new dude. When Jay-Z signed Kanye West, he gave him the Rockefeller chain. And the bracelet, some bracelet around his hand with something. She take all 3 because she's setting him up, right? And he went onto her, and the Lord had it where she conceived. Not only did she get a husband, but she got a child by that man, right? Go ahead.
And she arose and went away and laid by her veil from her and put on the garments of her widowhood.
So she went home, she put away that old garment, and she put back on the widow garment now. Right? Go ahead.
And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not.
Right? So just like any brother, he didn't want to go back to the scene of the crime, because as far as Judah concerned, This was a harlot he paid for sex. So he's sending his brethren now, go drop that off there. Just think like Israel. Hey, go, how Bush you say, driver, go around so and drop that package off for me. And don't stop, don't ask no questions, don't stop. He sent his friend to go drop off the kid and collect the payment. The friend don't necessarily need to know what happened, but he could say, hey, listen, she gonna give you something, go drop that goat off for her. The friend don't need to know, but Judah ain't going back there. Right? Go ahead.
Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place.
Right? Because she just pick a spot to catch him passing. It's not like there's a woman who's always there selling herself. So the men is like, they don't have no hoes around here, bro. You're in the wrong spot, homie. Yeah, you gotta go somewhere over there so the white people at. So go ahead.
And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid and now has not found her.
So he's like, listen, man, we got to find her because shit, if it come out now that she gonna have a chain and shit, man, we got to find this broad. You know what I mean? Come on. Yeah, listen, she had the receipts. She had the receipts. She gonna post this on Instagram. I gotta go get this damn chain back. But once again, one little moment of lapse. Eve is cunning, brother. She's cunning. Don't look at her simple. Don't look at her, that big round eyes and that nice smile and that tail and think she there for the taking. She's studying you more than you studying her. Because that's her nature. You get the point? Go ahead.
Come. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, hath paid the harlot. And also, behold, she is with child by whoredom.
So 3 months later, somebody come just like Rob, and listen to that first scripture you read where they said, son, be wise as you're going, so that when your father get reproached, he could answer and say, my son ain't like that. So they come into him because she was married to his sons. You know what I mean? Rida, you can grab a seat if you want to know. You ain't got to man the door like that. Ain't nobody outside, right? No sweat. Solid, right? So they come into him now to say, listen, man. Yeah, that girl who was married to his sons, man. She done listen. They dodge a bullet. She done played the whore, man. Because as far as they know, she ain't married, and all of a sudden she just get a child. She done had sex with somebody and gone. And of course, for our culture back then, that was a no-no. You had to get that shit had to be public. All that sneaky link and shit, that ain't our culture. Our culture is bold. That's how we are. Bold and out in the open. This is my woman. That's my man. Is gonna be out. Anything outside of that is just like, nah. You get the point? Go ahead.
Gone. And Judah said, bring her forth.
I'm in class now. You want to call me back some other time? Yeah, from there. Yeah, go ahead.
And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt.
Right? Why? Because that's according to the law. So Judah is like that. Now remember, okay, I ain't too sure if everybody know he reneged on the deal, but they know for sure that this girl done play the harlot. And according to our law, if there's proof of it, that's the punishment, right? Go ahead.
When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man who these are, am I with child?
Right. So now they're saying, yo, you done played the whore because you done pregnant and there ain't no man around, which means you done had sex with somebody unawares. She's like, unawares? Listen, the nigga who get me pregnant, I have his shit right here. I know who it is, and it's not unawares. I have a husband. That's what she really saying. I have a husband. Go ahead. Because now remember, if she can't prove she has a husband, she gonna get put to death.
Right.
This is how extreme this shit is with Israel. Which is why when you see when the Sadducees and Pharisees came to Christ with the woman caught in adultery, why it was so serious where they were looking for Christ to say something against the law, because she was going to be put to death, brother. You understand? It was no joke. Go ahead.
And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these? The signet and the bracelets and staff.
In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, so every word can be established in the spirit. That signet and that staff and that bracelet is the 2 or 3 witnesses that she needs. Go ahead.
And Judah acknowledged them and said, she hath been more righteous than I.
Say it again.
She hath been more righteous than I.
Say it one more time.
She hath been more righteous than I.
No. Could she have, made it public and, gone to the, gone to the elders of the city and had a council over Judah not giving her the son? She could have did that. Would she have won? You have up there. What's going on now? Would she have won? They're trying to keep you out there, pressure. You'll give him an eye. He made it. He fought. You know what I mean? She probably looking at this shit and is like, okay, I can't do that. I might get that. I mightn't get the justice I want in there, because at the end of the day, what does she want? What's going on? It was rough.
It was, yeah.
God damn.
But one part, I don't know if
No, please go ahead.
Don't make anything make you not come into class.
That's right. That's what Satan was keeping you away. Satan was in that traffic. You know what I mean? So, but what did she want at the end of the day? Did she want Judah punished, or she wanted a husband? She wanted a husband. That's all she wanted. All she wanted was a husband, and she was going to get it. She was going to get him. And their sisters like that. They're going to get you before you get them. Grab them around the side for us, because the camera won't talk. Right? They're going to get you before you get them. They're studying you. They're watching you. They're checking you out. You look at them superstars. All them superstar ball players and shit. How they always ending up with some rape case or some jacket. By jacket, I mean a child that, that she's saying belongs to them. How they always... Now, these is multi-million-dollar sportsmen. These is players who getting, $250,000 a week. You know what I mean? Signing $40 million contracts. How is it that this, McDonald's broad, or this, like this broad, she didn't have no big-time job. She making regular money. How is it she is able to trap the #1 winger in Manchester? You remember that Mason Greenwood fella? You remember his name? How is they able to trap him? They got a little bit more guile. They got a ton of guile. And because you're looking at them with favor or lust, you don't see the game running on you. You don't see it. You could run not only wing in Champions League and score. You could see the left back or the right back, he weak on one side. So if you throw him on this side, you can push it through his legs and go and score. You can read all of that shit. You can read the system, 3-5-2, switch to 4-4-2. But some bitch with an ass, you conquered. You laid down. You just, prostrate on the floor. That's the power of Eva. That's the power of Eve. And it would do you well to recognize it. It would do you well to recognize it. It would help you out in life. It would absolutely help you out with life. All right? So she said, Judah acknowledged him. He's like, well, damn, yeah, well, that is mine. That is my stuff. But he ain't know yet that that's in his mind, harlot. So how did you get this shit? Right? So she said this, she have been more righteous than I. Go ahead. No, Salaki, I'll take that back. He didn't know who she was. Go ahead. At this point, once she produced the stuff, he realized, oh, this is the girl. This is the girl right here. And it registered to him why she did what she did immediately. Go ahead.
And Judah acknowledged them and said, she hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son, and he knew her again no more.
Right? Because I didn't give her in marriage to my son, he didn't know her again anymore. That's why she did what she did. And he said she was more righteous than he was, and he was right because he let a little bit of fear get into him, which is an understandable thing. It wasn't right, Well, that's his last son, man. He ain't trying to have this boy die like the rest of them. But he should have just did what was right in the first place. But this girl here now, she come and did it. Any more on it? Yeah, give me some more. Give me some more. Read on.
Go on, another one, go on. And it came to pass in the time of the travail that, behold, twins were in her womb.
Right, and now from this, he had twin sons. From this. So now he thought he was going to lose one, so he kept that one. His sister done played him into the corner, and the Lord gave him two. That should tell you something. You should stand on what's right. Always. The Lord is always going to reward you for it. Even if you take an L standing, you're going to get it paid back. Always. Always like that. Keep going.
And it came
28.
And it came to pass, when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first.
Right, so now it's twins. So the first one that come out, she put a little red string around his hand. Right, go ahead.
Another one gone. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that, behold, his brother came out, and she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore, his name was called Phares.
Right, his name. So now the first one started to come out. So she put the string around his hand. He pulled his hand back, and then the next brother come on, and she's like, how it is you breach? This breach is upon you. Your name going to be Phares, which is something for breach, or you are the breach. And Phares is important. Why?
The firstborn. From the family of Judah.
Yes. Phares is directly in Yahushai's lineage. You see where this, you see how the whole thing goes, right? Because she stood on what she did, the Lord rewarded it, and from Phares is, you know, David and Solomon and all of them. Wait, give me Matthew 1:1. Just a sidebar, all right, Rob, and we get back to the other one.
Come on.
The book of Matthew 1, verse 1. The book of the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac.
Hold on, the book of the generations of who?
The book of the generations of Jesus Christ.
Right, this is Christ's lineage or his family tree. Right, go ahead.
The son of David, the son of Abraham.
The son of David, the son of Abraham, because of reincarnation. He was Solomon and he also was Isaac. Go ahead.
Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac begot Jacob, and Jacob begot Judas and his brethren.
Right, Judas, of course, is the Greek translation of Judah or Yehudah. That's what Judas is. Go ahead.
Another one gone. And Judas begot Phares.
Who?
And Judas begot Phares.
He begot who?
And Judas begot Phares.
That's the same Phares here. You get the point? So it's just, I'm just showing you the importance of it and where it could go. The same thing happened with Baruch and what's the girl who they say is the Moabite? Ruth with Barak and Ruth, where they try to act like she didn't deserve nothing, and Barak was so right with it, where he went to the one she was promised to and asked him first. He didn't just take her; he went to the dude who was in line to have her and asked him first and make sure and got the damn near the okay for this brother to go ahead and marry her before he did. And that lineage, Christ comes from that lineage. You get the point? All right. So Rabban. So let's go back to the other one now. 13.
Proverbs 27, verse 13. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman.
Exactly. That's where it comes from. Now, by itself, that's a good practice to have. From a stranger, you take a garment as surety, something that he'll need. The same thing with a pledge for a woman and for a simple son. Judah, in the beginning there with Tamar, he wasn't all the way sharp with it. He was simple. You get the point? And she counted on him being simple in that moment. She counted on him. Why? Because Eve is going to study you, Ak. She living with you all day, Ak. She living with you all day. She's seeing you when you come off that podium. She hearing you fart. She ain't your piss in the morning. She know if you're hitting the water direct or if it's going down the side. She know she's seeing you when other people not seeing you. So she's able to make a study of you. You get the point? And Tamar, she was watching him. She was watching him and she know what he gonna do. And she know this woman just dead. No sweat. Ain't no sweat. He didn't want to give me a husband. I'm gonna go get one. You get the point? I'm gonna go get one. Now, this ain't license for you out there if you ain't got no husband to just go out in the street instead of the side of the road. I think you're gonna grab somebody's chain. You're gonna get a rusty piece of metal, and that's about it. You get the point? You're gonna get that. Lord was with this sister here, and he was with Judah as well. Right, that ain't your situation now. You a sister, you need a husband. Come up in the Israel school, ISUPK, come manage on your hand and go find your husband the right way. All right. Rob, are we good with that?
If I could get the verse 14. I know it goes.
Go ahead, please, quickly.
Come on, verse 14. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him.
Read that one more time. Hold on.
Go
ahead.
He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him.
Vaguely remember that I had to ask General later in class. All right, General Mahaiman teaching today in Tennessee. Give him a hand. So General Mahaiman teaching down there in Tennessee today. Yo, Tennessee, y'all gonna have a ball this weekend. The manager down there, give him a hand. You know what I mean? Rocking it out down there. I think they either in transit or they're already down there. So tonight, if you're up, Rabban, you could post the question, or I could text it in. And just this one here, and I ain't 100% on it. I would ask just for you the clarity. All right. All right. It's sounding like it's saying don't, like how it is in the Apocrypha where it's saying be not hasty to praise a friend. You familiar with that in the Apocrypha? No sweat, ain't no sweat. I will find out first before I teach it, all right? Just to be sure. But it's sounding like that's what it's saying. Like you praise somebody first thing in the morning without them doing anything. And now, they do something foul and they come back to you. You get it? It sounds like that's where it's going. I'm not 100% sure, all right?
Correct. Right.
All right, so we good there? All right, anything else? Go ahead. Slacky, you got any up, Ariella?
You taking questions, Alva?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Salapio. The general conception amongst our people is that are in the world that are not in this truth is they're built they characterize and character build of the Hamashiach, of what kind of type of person he is. It stems from Christianity, I believe, but when you read the gospel and most of the books of the New Testament, you can see the true nature and character of our Lord Jesus Christ and our Savior. And it's nothing like the one that's perceived by our people in the world. I've got a couple of precepts. I've got about 10 precepts. I was hoping to push this at Street Camp on Saturday.
What was the question with it?
But the question is, where does this fake description of his character come from? And how did it get embedded in our people so deep that when you read the New Testament, and two precepts that are just quick ones that I know off the top of my head, how can we still believe what we believe about Jesus Christ? And that is the character that's been built in Christianity, that was the softly spoken pansy that he went around healing people.
Okay, so you asking how it is that today our people still believe that?
Yeah, because it's quite clear the nature of his character. When you read the New Testament, all the epistles, writings, all his letters, the gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, even in Revelation, and you can see. Shall I give you to the precept?
No, I understand where you're coming from. Okay, I just trying to boil it right down to the root of it. All right, and okay, The root of it. Let me give you these two. All right. Give me where Christ answered, who told you? Okay, he said, who told you? Who informed thee of this thing? And then he answered and said, because I didn't want them to know, so that they could trip and fall, and I can punish them. Give me that, hold that, and then give me Thessalonians. All right, this is the first reason. All right. Now, to be fair, our people have rejected that Christ. I think that the acceptance of that image you're talking about, not the actual painting, because everybody will tell you in that majority of people will see the painting and say that's Christ. But as a lot of people have rejected that whole notion of him now. That's why there's so many other religions, people moving away from it. There's a whole movement now saying he didn't even exist. That's something made up. And they say it's a plagiarism from Egypt. I'm sure you heard of that before, right? So some of it has started to move, right? Let me get this one first. Give me that after. Give me 1 Thessalonians. 2. No. Is it first or second?
Which verse about with the deceivableness?
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Bear with me one. I think it's 2 Thessalonians. Good. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Ariella, take it from right there. Now, what I'm giving you is the straight to the point. That mightn't be what you need exactly for your street speaking, because you want to break it down more on the street. You can work this in wherever you see fit. All right. But I'm giving you for the class the quick answer. Why? All right. Straight to the point. All right. 2 and 1. Start there.
Can't. The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as the day of Christ is at hand.
Right. So now this is a direct order to not be shaken or troubled or moved about what you know about your king, which includes his character, which includes his return as prophesied. This is an order to not even deviate from what was taught. Right? Go ahead. Which again, this is a good precept for any fake Israelite who talking about the truth evolved and changed and shit. Not according to the Bible. We ain't moved by nothing. Right. That ain't what was taught, and we ain't teaching that. You could teach that bullshit if you want. Right? Go ahead.
Let no man devise you by
deceive.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man by sin be revealed.
That man of sin.
And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
So let no man deceive you by any means. And what is some of the deceivingness they did? Painted that picture you talking about. You get the point? There must first come a falling away, which is what you're going to do on Saturday. You're going to start to pull back the layers of that soft, pansy thing, the old, soft Christian type vibe, and show them who Christ really is. But that doesn't come unless the man of sin is revealed. When pulling away the soft image to show them the true image of Christ, that's good. But what our people don't understand, or brothers who may come in the truth and trying to get it, why they can't see that Christ is this austere man, that he was a real righteous brother. It has nothing to do with the evidence that he's a righteous brother. And it says it's right here. You understand what you do? You know what I'm talking about? Break it down for me. What am I talking about?
talking about he rebuked him. He was rebuking a lot. So like, can you repeat?
Meaning, okay, you come into the truth, you see it, you get it fully, you understand who Christ is, what he's about, and he wasn't this punk they tried to give us, right? The brother Kazak last night, give Kazak a hand, but that was a genius move. I don't know if you could find the picture. Let me see if I can send you the link or the picture or something on Facebook. Kazak, you all heard about that Jeffrey Dahmer, right? Right? Kazak taught a class last night in DC, brother. That was an insane class. And he was making the point that the reason Jeffrey Dahmer was able to do what he did was because of Christianity. And he took the Caesar Borgia image arc and took them red tinted shades and put them over Caesar. Brother, that bitch looked just like Jeffrey Dahmer. And that's why people would see him and think, oh, come on in. Right. You could do the same thing with Dylan Storm Roof, who shut up that church in South Carolina. That was a church, AME church in South Carolina, a racist hotbed. You said lynch people outside that church maybe 100 years before. White boys show up, they let him in. Come on in. They don't see him as what he is. They look at him and they see Caesar Borgia or this whatever stupid symbol he does. They see that with the little burning heart and him looking like this. That's who they see when they see a white man. Go ahead.
Your white saying true said look, the sword Jeffrey Dahmer done so much. He damn near escaped prison like 5 times. He had bodies in his boot. Police were pulling over. He would invite police in his house.
Listen, man.
One guy escaped and the police took him back to the yard. Like that's how much people loved him.
God damn, like the picture is gone. I just saw the picture the other day. I mean, this is like an earlier time today. I'm gonna try to find that picture, brother. I'm gonna try to find that picture for you. All right, if anybody knows which picture I'm talking about, brother took a good picture of it where he put the shades over Caesar, and it looked just like Jeffrey Dahmer. If he could just cut all the long hair, it looked just like him, and that's how they see you. Had your hand up, sis?
So, like, yeah, just wanted to make a comment. I was speaking to my husband about that show, because just catching him up on some of the. So like some of the folk that Jeffrey was keeping up.
Yeah.
And he was saying like he's a bit slow though. Like I get the impression that he's a bit slow. So how is he getting away with it? And I literally said the same thing. Just because he's white, like
it's just because he's white. He's white and he's gay. Well, he was member of the LGBTQ. That's something they like to keep on the wraps. But he was only targeting gay men. All the people he cut up was gay men. But that's it. But okay. Young brothers, you would think if you show them in the Bible, Christ was an austere man, like it says in Luke 19. Bring them hither and slay them before me. He had red eyes, serious eyes, and looking like lightning, and faces bronze. And you think if you show them that, people would believe, right? Which is what your point is. He's like, why it is they don't believe? It ain't got nothing to do with the proof. It got to do with the lie. You understand? Now read the verse again that you just read. You understand? Like it's different. Like, okay, and this is why the truth is so important. And Command and Hannah is so years ahead of this world. General said something some years ago, and he repeats it from time to time. You have an ought with a brother, or a sister have an ought with a sister. Before you sit and think about how evil that brother is, say the white man is the devil. It's his fault. That's right. You are brother. You can't go see your kids because some evil bitch keeping your kids. She evil as shit. But before you hate her, the white man is the goddamn devil. That's right. That's why she's able to keep your kids. Blame everything on him and your life will be different. Everything. Brother, we can't go to camp. I know the Lord makes the rain fall, but the white man gonna take the L for that too. I ain't lying to tell you. Everything. I hit my toe in the corner of the bed. The white man is the devil. How dare he make a goddamn bed post so goddamn big? He don't know my toe passing there. You damn near have to go there for the truth to come out. But as long as we leave the lie alone and we dabble here, the proof, you'll never get it. It'll never happen. The proof is there. The proof is right there. Why people can't get it? Because the queen in England and she white, and Diana is white, and Harry's white, and the captain of England football team is white, and the cricket team is white, and the sexiest woman in the world is white, and the sexiest white man in the world is a white man, and your teacher is white, and your landlord is white in some cases. You get it? The world around you is the lie. So you have to tear down the lie. Now read the scripture again. Come on.
So okay, from there on, but how do you put that on your people? How do you
read the scripture?
Come. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come.
That day that you're talking about, where they would realize, that's what you're asking, right? That day will not come unless,
except there come a falling away first.
Go ahead.
And that man of sin be revealed.
Did it say anything about teaching the truth about Christ? What do you have to do first?
Man of sin.
Except there come a falling away first.
What is the falling away? That might give you. What is the falling away?
Shedding themselves to the world.
Hold on 1 second, Zapwan. Not the shedding themselves of the world. Okay, take falling away. What's the opposite of falling away?
Standing up.
No, that's the falling down. If you're falling away from something, you're coming to something. So what is our people coming to or embracing now, today? No. What do our people embrace?
Lies.
Who said it? Who said lies? Oh shit, that should sound like it come off here. Ariana got that Dolby surround sound shit. That should sound like what is talking back here. I know it's what yeah, shit, that was you. I should sit up in a second. The lies. That's what our people gather to. With all the black power shit and all the woman shit and black girl magic. What happened when Harry married that white girl who everybody thought was black? Black women cried. They cried with their big afros, with the huge afro. You good? Okay, with the huge afros and they that old gray crystal with the copper wire going around it and burning sage. All them blackety black ass women cried like, oh Cinderella, you know, just a prince. Everybody want their prince to marry because they think it's a black woman because they holding on to the lie. They have to fall away from the lie first for them to even see the shit. The lie right now is way stronger than any truth you could tell them. You could show them, brother, Christ walked the earth and niggas still don't believe it. What do you think you could say to make them say it? You have to attack the lie. And what's the lie?
That he was a softly spoken pansy.
Okay, the lie is that the white man is good. There's nothing wrong with him, and we shouldn't be racist. And this is 2022. God loves everybody. The white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of. He murdered people, he lynched people, he set them on fire. Look what he did. Because when we do a crime, what do they do?
Same thing. Come on TV and
They go back and say you was late for school 10 times, Zach.
Right.
They talk about the one piece of gum you lift from some little store. And they bring it all the way up till your adulthood. They talk about your children. They talk about your parents, or your father was locked up or your mother wasn't there. They make the whole world believe you evil. You have to do the same thing to him. You have to, in order to make people believe in Christ, you have to assassinate the character of the white man. But it's not really assassinating, it's telling the truth. What they do to us is character assassination. You get the point? I'm going to give you something to read too. All right, no, I'm going to pass it to you, brother, since you hold on to the baby. Go ahead.
So you say, when we're pushing this at street camp, or when we're teaching at street camp, we should stay away from that Christianity, that Christian doctrine of the character that built of him, and just stick to.
What do you mean?
Blaming it on the white man.
Give me some more. What do you mean by stay away from the character?
You know, this softly spoken guy that he's not in the Bible, that he's clearly not.
No, do it. Do that. But for our people to see it, you're going to have the man of sin must be. What's the scripture said?
Yeah.
And the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
He has to be revealed. Once he's revealed, everything is simple. Everything is easy to understand. It'll fall right into place. Even the way we see the world, for the most part, unless you come into here and learn from Command Journey Hannah, the lens you see the world through is a white lens. Right? Unless you come in here and you see things different, you wake up every day looking at things like, you're looking at it through white people's eyes. Come on.
It's like, for me, one example is like rich blacks blame a poor black saying that it's their fault. And that's white man's lens.
That's the white man's lens. That's what you see. What's that, Dave Lamy? Right, what he was saying about the knife crime. I believe he was one of them who was kind of charging young black people with the knife crime. He wasn't saying, it's because of poverty and this, that, the other. And there's another thing. I remember doing the statistics on the knife crime. Knife crime is committed by more Somalians and Ethiopians than young black brothers. And they don't ever say it. They don't ever say the truth about it. You get the point? But going through the whole, don't even worry about it. Let them talk and let them do their thing, man. But they don't ever show you the truth of everything. You understand? But when it comes to us, it's so much accepting. It's so much, That's why they was quick to believe Mark Duggan really had a gun. Until to this day, there's black people who is pro-black, who know the white man is the devil, and they'll be like, well, we ain't really sure, because they say he threw it, and Mark Duggan had no gun. I don't care what nobody say. He didn't have no gun. He didn't have nothing. Y'all could put a satellite in space, land on the moon, find Saddam in a goddamn hole, but y'all take 2 days to find a gun in a park?
Right.
I ain't stupid, man. I ain't stupid no more. There was a time I would have believed that bullshit. And I believe the gun was too small and too black. And, they spent time looking. And just before he got shot, he strategically threw it in shadows, knowing they couldn't find it over there. That's what they would make you believe. I ain't stupid, man. I ain't stupid. As far as I know, Scotland Yard is very advanced. They could find a gun wherever. Salakis, go ahead.
Every time we or the brothers go out and say that the white man is the devil, the first thing our people say is, I don't know what these one are. Niggas are killing, always niggas, by the way. Niggas are killing, niggas are like.
Black people, listen, a white man don't rob me. He don't do me nothing. I'm trying to get to the topic tonight. Y'all gonna have to bear with me a little bit. I have to vomit out this thing tonight here. I'm about to drop something tonight, brother. And I still know after this shit here, people ain't gonna care. Not y'all, but people who listen, who ain't in the truth, they're still gonna say, well, that's your problem because y'all didn't take advantage of the opportunity given. They're still gonna say that dumb shit. Go ahead. You done, sis? No sweat. Come on. Please.
To the sister, I was going to say, who made the gun that we used to kill each other?
Okay, that's one way you could go at it. All these gun factories, Remington, Glock, Smith & Wesson, Browning, is white men. But I don't like to go that way because that argument could walk you into never have a gun. And guns are beautiful. After black women, I like my guns, brother. I like them black too. I like them, all shapes and sizes. I like them all flavors. You get the point? That would mean that I can't use one. So I don't even go down that argument. But it's still a good point. But I wouldn't go down that argument about who made the gun. What I would say is who's bringing them in. In England, it's a little easier to use the argument of who's bringing them in. It's not like America where they'll blame Issachar saying coming across the border, right? But in England, the Pakis and the Albanians and them bringing that shit in. Everybody know that. Unless you're going to rob a farmer and take his little 12-gauge sword off something. If you're going to get something, you have to go see one of them. Or them Polish people or something, them mafia people. A brother ain't doing that, right? And even still in America with Issachar, the FBI, I don't know if you all ever heard of Project Fast and Furious? No. Operation Fast and Furious? What's his name? He was an attorney general, something Holder. Is a brother with gray hair, right? You could pull him up if you could find him. Some Holder. He did something called Operation Fast and Furious, where they raided cartels in Mexico, took all their guns, brought them to America, marked them with serial numbers and marked the barrel because you have with the ballistics and the let's call that thing them crime and scene investigators. You could tell which gun fired which bullet by the markings it leaves around, whether it's the barrel, not the barrel, the shell or the bullet, right? Each barrel is threaded. They have threaded barrels or serrated, not threaded, serrated barrels. So they leave marks, and you could tell which gun fired which bullet if you have the evidence. They took all them guns from them cartels, marked them, and sent them back into Mexico to track the guns. Guess how they're tracking the guns?
Same the markings.
But why would you have to track the markings?
Because that's the only way you can like this.
They're tracking the guns through the murders that these cartels going to do to each other. They gave the guns, after they done take down the cartel, whoever it is was in charge at the time, some successor gonna come, and they arranged some way with some informant or plant to put them guns right back in Mexico. And they was going to track the cartel through the murders of them murdering each other with guns from the FBI. But let the news tell it, Mexico is dangerous. The cartels, forget about, look how they're slaughtering each other with FBI guns. Nobody ain't saying the white man is the devil, but they were saying they're some bad hombres, they're rapists, they're violent. You have to charge this white man. That's what you have to do. Breaking down Christ's back is good. Don't drop that. But never, ever forget to charge that devil.
That's right.
Charge him till die. That's how you do it. Charge him till you die. A brother could come in the truth and never understand a breakdown, but he know the white man is the devil. He's valuable.
Right.
All the breakdowns and let white people in. You all know who I'm talking about. Some of them marry them and kiss them in the mouth. The tribe of Asher. A lie. I disrespect Asher. Like this white bitch could pass for Asher. Charge the white man. The man of perdition must be revealed. You ever see Scooby-Doo? In the end of Scooby-Doo, what do they say? Oh, it was you all the time. At the end of every damn episode, they had the damn the ghost in chains, and they come and they take the mask off. Jeffrey, that was you. It was you all along. That's what you have to do to white people. And once he gone, now we could talk about Christ. Now we could talk about everything else. They'll see it. Because what you don't understand, there's another thing. People are scared to believe what you teach. This oppressor has a ring on us so much that to stand at that bull ring or in Brixton and listen to what you all do, you'll see it. They'll be like, yeah, and then they'll catch themselves and look around to see who watching them support you, because their spirit is free, which is why you have to keep hammering at it, because the lie is what chains them down. Listen, like Karathia would tell you, we was in the funeral of our father-in-law about a few weeks ago. And while in the middle of the damn the thing after the burial, the news came out that the queen dead. So the brother get up and say, yo, the queen dropped out. He was all hype and shit. And the room was quiet. Like 10 people clapped at. 10 people. I mean, it was a room full of, how much people was there? About 300 people easy. Oh, brother, you can hear the clapping like real isolated. And I'm looking around. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna let that bitch die. But it's a crippling thing in your spirit when you can't celebrate the death of your oppressor, brother. You can't celebrate it. Everybody clapped when Saddam Hussein got killed.
Right.
Never bombed no ghetto. Right. Osama bin Laden ain't never did nothing to me. But that queen did. Right. Lock it. I hope rest in peace. Or power or whatever. Let's keep reading on. So now the man of sin must be revealed. That's the first thing, right? Go ahead.
Who opposes and exalted himself.
This verse here, these next two verses. This verse here is why they don't get it. Even if you show them Christ is black in the Bible. This verse here is why they say, not my Jesus. This verse, read it.
Another one come. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, all that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showeth himself that he is God.
Read it one more time. Let me try and get this picture here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Got another one, come. who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that
Hey,
he,
Lord Christ,
as
because
God, sitteth in the temple of God,
picture that the brother took
showing
of you last
himself
night
that he is God.
with putting the shades on Jeffrey Dahmer. I needed to find it and send it to Karafia. You know Karafia, UK? Send it to him real quick. I need them to put that on the screen so they could see the man of perdition. That's what I need them to see that damn shit, brother. Jeffrey Dahmer was everyday beach boy. Salaki, send it to him real quick, all right? To his messenger. Yeah, you know the picture from the class where you put the shades on the picture? Somebody took a picture of it. Just send it for me, all right? I'll send it to him. Yeah, from Shatta. Salaki. Okay, so now give me the first line. What does the first line mean? Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God. Who is that man first to begin? The man of sin, the man of perdition. That's him. He's the one who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God or all that is called power or authority. Break that down for me, Ariala. What does that mean?
Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
Mm-hmm.
He invaded the world,
Okay.
raped the world, conquered the world,
right,
and stole it from the Most High.
Mm-hmm. He stole it from the Most High. What are some of the things? What are some of the things the Most High says that he opposes? Give me one thing that the Lord said to do or not to do that this oppressor says to hell with that shit. Simple. Give me an example. No, you're going to break it down to people. So give me an example. Eating pork. Perfect. The Lord said, don't eat pork. It's an abomination. What does the white man call pork? They don't say it no more too much again. Is that one?
The white meat, the new white meat or the white meat, something like that.
The other white meat, because white meat was something that was by the health enthusiasts. They like to say, eat the white meat, meaning the breast. Like you trying to get fit and eat healthy. The steamed breast, or because it's the white meat, it's not the dark meat where there's more fat. You get the point? They would say pork was the other white meat, meaning pork was the other healthy type of meat. The Lord said that's abomination. Who did that? The white man. Give me another thing. Give me anybody else. Come on. LGBTQ. Homosexual is an abomination. Right. Read the scripture. Man that lie with mankind should be put to death. The Lord say it's a...
I was going to say, they say lobster is a delicacy.
They say lobster is a delicacy. The Lord said that's an abomination. They call it delicacy and it's like expensive food. Yes, expensive. You buy a cockroach is expensive food. Yeah, I mean, give me my mutton, bro. Go ahead. Let's get to we get into the adultery. He said the homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle. They don't say that much no more now because of the LGBTQ. But about 10 years ago, it was a lifestyle that was just different. That's how they would market it. It's an alternative lifestyle. It's not your cup of tea, but this is what I like. That's how they market it. The Lord said that's an abomination. He opposed everything the Lord said. Go ahead.
Right.
What we're moving on.
No, he was going.
I was going to say that the Most High said, "Let the woman have one man."
Mm-hmm.
But they've gone against God and turned it all upside down on its face. And they said, if you catch the man cheating with another woman, do the same to him.
Okay, no, this is where you want to go with that, because once again, you'll get experience on the street. You would know how to sculpt your argument. You know what being a priest of the Lord is akin to? It's akin to being a lawyer. And you making a case before the judge, who is the Most High. And your witnesses, your courtroom, your jury is filled with the public. You had to build your case. So what you don't want to do if you're in court and you're trying to get your client off, or you're making a case for your client, you don't want to offend the jury. So like how you say there, The woman has to have one man. And if you do that, do it back. What is that doing? What is saying that, not deliberately, but automatically doing to your audience? You're separating it. Don't separate the audience. What's something that a man could identify with and a woman could identify with in a marriage that the white man allows that the Lord said never to do? You want to make the point about adultery. No, you're staying on the adultery. That's the point you want to make. But for the sake of the argument, to build it, I'm not going to talk about adultery. I'm going to talk about something else that's right there in the same thing. Divorce. Because the sister, every sister, she understands the pain of being left. And every brother understands the pain of being left. Now you get them together, it's like, yeah, man, shit, man. They'll start talking as you speaking. Man, I had a bitch in the she was bad, and you know that bitch left me? The sister, she don't understand. Versus, now you're separating the flock. Now you're creating enemies. You're going to have to come back. Because as you talking, the niggas ain't shit. Now you have to address that. You don't want to do that. You want to keep it right there on the white man. The white man says you could divorce. Divorce is wrong. You should never, your first love, you should never leave. Blah, blah, and now it gives them a sense of justice now. You get the point? Give me one more and move on for time's sake.
Freedom of religion. That says no God before me.
I wouldn't do that because you might have some Muslim brothers in the crowd. You alienate them. Let me see. Let's see one that you put everybody together. That the oppressor allows. Go ahead, sis.
So what about interracial marriage? That's another alternative list.
Somebody might be in a interracial marriage or the product of one. You're gonna offend them. You get the point? Now, okay, there's a time and place for everything. Once again, I'm talking about really seasoning in it. When you're young and you're trying to get experience, brother, just go out there and light the goddamn fire. Burn everything down. So like, even that's wrong. Not wrong, but even that's novice. When I was going to start speaking, brother, nothing was safe. Hey, listen, if I don't care if you're driving a white car, I'm burning out that too. He's like, Mashak, you could light a fire. Everybody know you could blaze. He said, but the more effective is to become a laser. Light a forest fire is easy. You could light a fire. There's levels. There's some brothers who don't want to light the fire. They just want to learn the truth. Then there's a brother who come in here, he wants to blaze, which is what you're doing. You're going to go out there and charge and blaze. Then you're going to reach a stage at doing that it's easy. You could blaze. You start speaking, people going to listen. When you get an audience, you don't want to be a forest fire. You want to be a laser. You have the whole audience, you want to laser in on a topic and stay on that shit till it melts, which is how you want to deal with Esau. You get the point? So maybe that's them examples is broad enough where everybody could understand that, right? The pork, the shrimp, the homosexuality, divorce, right? And on the tip of divorce, now you could branch off to Shalom, Lord Christ. I'm in class now. You give me a call back later? Is there an emergency or you good to go? All right, give me a call back later in about an hour or two, all right? You have to interrupt that. Right? Now, on the tip of that, with the divorce, then you could go into, and a man could have more than one woman, but he could never leave the woman, which is what every sister is scared of. Every sister is scared of one day, you with your good, strong, virile self is going to find some young, tender thing that you're going to leave her for. What if you never leave her and you can never leave her? She's comforted in that. She don't really care about if you have 10 women. As long as she comes through the door to see her and is excited, she'll live with it out. That brings everybody together now. You get the point? And now you're fishing the brothers. Because which brother here and he can't, he a brother like Jordan's. Brother, you have just one Jordan. What if I tell you can have 10? He gonna come. Now them you got 10 women, come up in here, I'll show you how to do it. Now you're fishing the brothers. Now that as they come in here, you could teach them who Christ was and how he is. Now they'll be ready to hear. Because they don't know that this white man lied their whole life. You get it? Read verse 4 again.
who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Right, so now we bring on the first part. He opposed and exalted himself over all that is God or that is worship, so that he, as God, sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Where's the picture? Come on, pull it up. Y'all see that shit right there? Tell me that ain't Jeffrey Dahmer. Y'all just play the little Netflix movie in your not the movie, the music. That Netflix music in your mind. See how he put the pic. This is you'll probably ain't see it. You'll see the trailer for Jeffrey Dahmer. That's probably why. If you ain't see the trailer after tonight when you go home, look at somebody at the door.
Oh, I guess someone not.
Nah, no.
Okay.
If you ain't seen the trailer tonight, go home and look at the trailer. Then let's have his picture up with the tinted glasses. Brother, that is Jeffrey Dahmer without the hair and the mustache. The same shades. And what he's doing here is he is revealing the man of sin. He's revealing the You see how we have welcome here and you all don't see it. It says wipe feet. You know why? Because we put that on the ground so everybody could wipe their feet on the white mat. That's a welcome mat. That's a welcome mat in DC. That's really be on the floor by the door.
It's like
young brother, I don't even think I was a trooper yet. I brought this brother who we used to play football with to class. And he came to class and he wanted to learn. We come through the door, the brother search us, ready to search him. He go to step in and nearly trip and fall because he stepped over the sign. And he said, yo, wouldn't we have Jesus on the ground? I never came back to class. Just because of that image on the ground. You have to get that shit done. You get the point?
It's like if you could.
Please,
could the picture be shared on the stream?
Oh, hold on. You always show it on the screen now, because whoever was online ain't know what I'm talking about. All right, always show it on the screen. You all able to see it?
All right.
Right, you put the shade. Robin, you saw the trailer? Anybody saw the trailer? All the movie?
Yeah.
That is Jeffrey Dahmer with the shades.
That's right.
That's him. Okay, pull up a picture of the trailer. There's a picture of the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix thing. Just pull it up with him with the shades, and you'll see what he's talking about. That was absolutely genius right there. So now, break down that last part. So like it to be so long with it. What does it mean when he says so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God? What does that mean? Look at that shit out. Look at this one. This is the one right here. You can take this one, any one of them. Just make it big on the screen, bro. Right, go ahead, Ariella.
Okay, so like everyone, he's took control of the kingdom of God's creation, and he's the head of it now. So he's calling himself God in his temple, showing that he is God, the leader of the kingdom, this world.
That's him.
That's right.
Now you listen. If there was a way to put the two of them together, boy, it would be. But don't even sweat if you can't do it. But that's him right there. That's Jeffrey Dahmer. Switch back to the one with Kazaki, you'll see the same thing. That is a white man doing everything. Go ahead.
Sitting at the temple of God, controlling NATO, controlling the governments, controlling the land.
Okay, now that's good, but zero in. Know ye not that your body is
temple?
Who's sitting in the temple of the Lord? Go ahead.
The image, that image of Caesar Borgia.
Okay, well, I'm not saying the image. I'm saying the white man.
Right.
For the sake of the argument. Now, once again, you're not wrong. But for the sake of being a lawyer in the court, I can't blame the image because all they will say, well, it's the image fault. You know, every white man gets to do what Jeffrey Dahmer did. No, it's the white man fault.
Right.
It's not the image, it's him. Every school shooter is a white man. Every single one. Until this day, you could look it up. The FBI has no criminal profile for a school shooter. They call it, there's a profile for a bank robber, or there's a FBI profile for a terrorist. There's no profile for a school shooter. It's clearly a young white male who is socially awkward, sometimes listening to them emo shit with the black damn nail polish and the gothic look with the black choker around his goddamn neck, wearing the chains from them big old baggy bootleg jeans, not the bootleg, the bell-bottom jeans with skateboards. If I see a little white boy wearing Vans skating down here, I'm calling the police.
Right.
He wearing Vans and he just having loud rock music and he don't talk to nobody. Hey, what's going on? He gonna kill somebody. Call police now, because that's the profile.
That's
the
right.
temple of the Lord is you. Is the crowd who you're talking to, and then you got to charge them. That's why you feel funny when I say the white man is the devil. For me, that's liberating. But for you, look at how you're looking around now, and you check them, because they're gonna be like, I ain't racist, because the white man is sitting in their chest. He's sitting in their chest. Black people, they take their son to the barber. His first haircut, what does the son do? I remember my own. Say again? God damn, shit, you different now. You Samson. Listen, you Samson, this bitch. I gave him that. I remember that. It was traumatic. I cried and fought. But parents still pursue it. Why? Why do parents still repeat that cycle with their male son over and over again until he accepts it?
Is it to get a fresh look?
Why they want a fresh look?
Because they think he look too rough or your
Why they think he look too rough or his hair too picky? Why?
So they can look in society.
Why does they want him to fit into society?
Because the white man is
living in their chest.
Right.
It's a white man in their chest as that boy is screaming and crying. You know, children scream and cry till they cough. Because it's too much. It's just too much. And normal compassion is like, no, you ain't got to do it, man. Come on, we'll keep that here. You must have some compassion for children. They scream until they're shaking, and all the veins coming out. At that point, you had to say, well, damn, let me stop. They hold the child down. Go ahead, line him up. Look how clean you look. And use all these lying words for a child. And now he spends the rest of his life thinking if his hair grow, he ugly.
Right.
If he don't have a shape up, he can't talk to no women. Young brothers, you come in the truth. There's some brother who came in the truth. I forget who it was. Not somebody in here. Some old weak ass who left out. You tell him he had to stop doing the shape ups. I think it was one of them. Can't remember. Stop doing the shape ups, brother. And he act like I told him to go kill his mother.
All right.
I said, brother, you can't. He would walk around with a scallion because he don't have a shape up. That's because that white man who lived in his mother and father chest is now in here with him walking every day. That's why he had to get up every morning and shave that face and cut the hair, shape it up, or bald it. You know that bald look them politicians like to wear? Why do you think they wear a bald face and a bald hair? You think because it's just easier to manage? It's because they sit in a room with white men all day and they don't want to offend the white men with his afro.
Right.
You understand? That Akala, and Lord help that brother, he had the dreadlocks and the beard. But you ever notice how he talks? He don't want to offend white people. Well, just something, not like he's singing a goddamn song. He cannot say the white man is the devil. It'll hurt him. The white man is and get a heart attack and just drop dead.
Right.
That's because they say that scripture there, Ariala, ain't got nothing to do with a physical temple or NATO. The white man is sitting in the chest of our people, in the mind of our people. Sitting there ruling as God. So when they see you, why y'all dressed so funny? You're too militant. You remember some white woman told me that in Birmingham the first time? What you saying is true, but you nobody want to listen to you because you're threatening. I'm like, bitch, how the fuck is I'm threatening? Because it offends white people out. You have to be willing to go there to free your people. If you can't go there, not saying you can't. I know you're fully capable. I'm just saying in general. If they'll never hear it. Go ahead.
She was saying that you're offensive.
Okay, she said I'm threatening. I'm saying things in a threatening way. I remember it because I'm like, well, goddamn, that's how niggas got killed because a nigga talk and oh shit, he threatened me, kill him. That's what it is. No, she's an oppressor. She's supposed to think like that. It's a problem when black people see us like that. Well, you have to be so rough. You could say it in a nice. Now, damn that. That's a white man talking through your mouth, right? Get rid of that man in their chest, which means you have to reveal the son of perdition. He's the evil one that you harboring. He's the evil one that you have all these feelings for. He's the problem. That queen, she would have never gotten that burial if the man of perdition was revealed. They buried her like she was goddamn Mother Teresa or something. That bitch done killed so much people and walking around waving. Killed so much people out. I ain't talking just about enslaving and robbing and raping. I mean, killed. Goddamn, she done kill her own daughter-in-law. You all forget about that? That was her daughter-in-law or sister? That was her daughter-in-law. What? You got to tear down the man of perdition. You got to reveal him first. Reveal the criminal, and everything gonna be good.
That's right.
That's why our people can't get it. That's the main reason our people can't get it. Now, after that part, there's still some people who can't get it. Then give me the last scripture I asked for, the one in Matthew.
All right, it's Matthew 13 and 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in a parable? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
What verse you in?
I'm at verse 11.
Matthew 12 and 11?
So it's 13 and 11. I can skip to
13 and 11. No, you good. I was just trying to catch up with you. Right? So one, okay. Yeah, that's for the sake of the topic. Skip down to where he said it.
Okay.
Right? So they ask him, why does he speak to the people in parables? Right? And speaking in parables is like not clear talk. It's not all the way clear and understandable, which means the people is not seeing what he's saying. Similar to kind of how you saying why they can't see what we're saying. There's another reason besides the white man, but this is a more minuscule reason. The white man is the real reason they can't see it. But then there's another reason after him, way after him. For anybody who's saying, well, maybe this is the reason. No, the white man is the main reason for everything. He's the reason you believe in Santa Claus. Think about that. He's the reason you can see Santa Claus and go crazy because of him. Come on. You was going to say something?
I was thinking of you the reason.
No, this is it here. We're going to read it. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, and neither do they understand.
Read it one more time.
Verse 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, and neither do they understand.
Ariella, what he's saying? Why did Christ speak to them in parables? Why couldn't they get what he's saying? They couldn't get what he's saying because he's speaking to them in parables. But why? What is he saying here? Say it again, Precious.
It's Matthew 13, and we're at verse 14. Just like verse 13 is about 30.
13 and 13. Read it one more time, please.
Matthew 13 and 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand.
Right? That's self-explanatory. You understand that? He's speaking to them in parables because even though they're seeing, they ain't gonna see it. And even though they're hearing, they ain't gonna hear it. And there's a reason for it. Go ahead.
And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah.
Right? And in them, not hearing, is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. Go ahead.
Which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive.
Right? Isaiah prophesied that you'll be speaking to our people, and they're hearing what you're saying, but they ain't hearing. And they're seeing what you're saying, but they ain't seeing it. Keep going.
For this people's heart is wax gross.
It's wax gross. This people's heart, their heart is disgusting. Their mind. Absolutely disgusting. Go ahead.
And their ears are dull of hearing.
And they're hard-headed. Go ahead.
And their eyes they have closed.
Not they're blind, no. But they're seeing and they're doing this. How many times you see people passing with their children and they cover the children's eyes? Don't look, and they're looking away. They're walking like idiots. Don't look. Look over there. And we camp over here. And they're walking. They're choosing not to listen. And there's a reason. Go ahead.
Lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their hearts, and should be converted, and I should heal them.
So what is he saying there?
It's like if I could.
1 second, Robert.
That's right.
I'm ready, brother, answering. Go ahead.
If their hearts were right, they would see. They would see what they're supposed to see, and they would hear what they're supposed to hear.
And if they do hear and they do see, what would happen?
They would be converted. They'd be in the truth.
They'd be in the truth, and they'd be converted. So if Christ is deliberately speaking to them in parables so they don't see and they don't hear, what does he want?
He doesn't want them to be a part of it.
And if they're not a part of it, what does that mean? This is right on what you're trying to teach them about Christ.
They're lost.
Hold on, chill out. Same thing what you were saying, how he's militant, he's austere, he's not, what they say, pansy? He is a pansy. You know what I mean? And, okay, this is a very Judite thing too. This is what Christ talking about. This is a very Judite thing. You're supposed to understand this shit right here. He don't want them to understand, so he don't heal them. So I'll give it to you if you want to. Christ wants to kill them, Mark. Christ wants to put them to death.
Right.
You still looking at me like, what? he wants to, yeah. You didn't hear me?
I know he wants to destroy them, but I don't.
that's what. See how you
wants nothing to do with them. He doesn't favor them.
That's still too pansy. Christ wants to put some of you niggas to death. He wants to do it. Not if you don't listen, you know, he doesn't favor you and favor my ass. He wants to cut your damn faggot head off. He wants to chop your slut head off. Them politicians who taking money, watching people die, whichever politician that co-signed Priti Patel while black brothers were what's the brother who was eating cat food and starved? Where he was in Leicester or somewhere? London. Starved in his apartment. Whichever one of these black politicians co-signed Priti Patel, they have something to pay for. They have something to pay for. I'm gonna go right into the topic on it. You understand, Ariella? There's some of us. Now, this is not by and large everybody, but there's some people who earn They earn wrath from the Lord. They earn it. And Christ don't want them to escape from it. He wants to come back and put some of them to death.
Right.
Could I use this precept, use that breakdown you just used, and then go to Luke 22 and 36, where he's telling his man there to sell their garments. So yeah, if you haven't got a
you can't use that. No, you cannot use that. Why? Why you can't use that? If you say in this here, if you're using this precept here where he's saying he wants to kill them, and you jump to a precept where he's telling his disciples go get guns, what are you telling people to do? To do what?
To kill.
Exactly. He wants to kill them, not the disciples. Remember, the disciples asked him.
I would explain that.
No, you can't explain that, because if I'm some idiot in the world, I'm going to film you, put it on the internet, and now every authority is going to brandish the UPK. What kind of group? What kind of group? All right, then. Luke 19, and you can't explain it. Wrong. You can't use that. Luke 19 and 27. Let me hear you. Go ahead. Let me hear what he's going to say. What he's going to say.
Oh, about the other precept.
Whatever you're just about to say.
I still use the precept, but not in this context.
You can't use them. Two precepts don't go together. It's the wrong spirit of it.
Use Luke 22.
No. Luke 19 and 27. Luke 19 and 27. Grab it for me real quick. Not for what you want. You could use it to describe his character, but not for what you want.
That's all I wanted for, sir.
Yeah, not for what you want. I would stay away from it because of you already going down one road and one train of thought. I would stay away from that one. What you want for his character, and this is an old school UPK 101 precept for Christ's character. Read Luke 19 and 27.
The book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 27. But those, mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them.
Right, so just to bring you up to speed. This is Christ giving you the parable of the, what is the master and the servant? Right, this master, he had a certain servants, and some of them he left, and some of them was bitching while he was gone. They was bitching and talking about, his rulership, and they was coming up against the shit. So when he came back and he heard the report, read.
Which would not...
Read it again from the top.
Another one come. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
That's what you want. That's who Christ is.
So Luke 22 and 36, where he's telling his gang to sell the garments.
Christ didn't have a gang. Christ didn't have a gang.
Telling his mans, telling his
soldiers or his disciples,
his apostles,
repeat after me. His soldiers or his disciples. I don't call none of you all apostles in here. I don't call none of you my gang. Your commanders on your hand are soldiers, right? You met war. That's why you have ranks, different ranks. You get the point? So go ahead.
What are you saying? Just stay away from that.
Yes, to
describe his character.
Yes, for what you want. The spirit on that precept is different. Christ was telling them go buy a sword for what reason?
If I may, sir.
Yeah.
I'll answer you. I was going to use it.
Why is Christ telling them to go buy a sword? Explain that to me.
Because they haven't got swords.
No.
To defend themselves.
No.
Prepare themselves.
No, that's not why. That's why I tell you to stay away from it. You don't understand it. Anybody else?
Lucky at all.
Hold on 1 second.
Now, because with Christ, when he was with them, they didn't need anything.
When he was with them, they didn't need what?
They didn't need a sword.
They didn't need. So, what was the sword for?
It was for them after Christ was to go.
While he was with them, they didn't need what? Protection. They didn't need self-defense. This nigga waved his hand and they disappeared. You remember that shit? You remember that, right?
Through Christ.
Yeah. Another time he waved his hand and everybody fell to hell out. Why the hell I want a gun for? This nigga could snatch your heart. I don't need no gun. Well, you know how much work a gun is? You gotta keep that shit clean. You gotta buy bullets. Bullets is expensive if you don't know. Bullets is expensive. And depending on the type of gun you have, you ain't gonna be able to shoot but one magazine because you can't get the round. You just can't get it right now. Why would I need that if this nigga could just be like, and everybody that side dead? I don't need protection. He do that once. You think anybody running up again?
Right.
You think anybody running up ever again? Nobody running up on him, huh? Anybody? Right. Listen, he had power so much. The Sadducees and Pharisees who would kill you, just kill you. They couldn't even just come and put him to death. They had to try to trap him so he'd come against the law. They knew not to try that nigga. I don't need no guns. But he was about to go on the cross. And he knew once he, being the gun, was gone, they would come and slaughter his men. Because his men were so young at the time, they didn't understand half the shit he was saying. Which, much like you, most young brothers in here, they don't understand it. They don't really get how this work really needs to be done. Even myself right now, shit. You think I could sit in a general's council? Hell, goddamn no, and I don't want to. What the generals be dealing with is enough to drive you insane. They're taking on the burdens of the whole nation.
Right.
I'm still loving the whole nation at the same time, brother. I could hardly listen. My kids, I'd be wanting to kick them out of the goddamn house. Tie them to a tree outside until they learn to behave. Listen now. You don't understand what Christ was really saying. When he told them, sell your scrip and buy a sword, this was because when I'm gone, they're going to come for y'all. They're going to come for you. Anybody know what happened to most of his disciples, if not all of them?
They died.
Yeah, how did they die? By natural causes?
No, by the Romans and private.
Typically beheading. A lot of them got killed. That's why he told them buy a sword. To protect themselves. Not to go on the offense, but for defense. Go ahead.
So he was telling them to get a sword in a militant respect.
It was militant respect, of course.
That's the profile I want to build of him.
Well, that's fine.
That's what I'm talking about.
I get you, but for what you breaking down initially with the what's the one that we just read? Where you say he wants to kill them, I wouldn't use two back to back. It's going to sound like you saying get the sword to do that, even though you're not saying it.
That's what I said. I wanted to differentiate. I was asking you if I could use them together. When you said no, I got it. But I wanted to know if I could still use the precept
you could
build his profile, his real profile.
I get you. I wouldn't use it if I was you. You understand? I wouldn't use that. Give me Luke 19 and 27. That's the one you want. That's him. Give me when he said, I fear thee because you are an austere man. Give me that one. You pick one. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like the other one. I wanted to say before, you know, when he said coming back to kill, he wants to kill them. Is that because they said let his blood be upon us, and they said crucify him, crucify him? Is that the same spirit from back then? Is that who he wants to kill?
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, remember when they were saying to Pontius Pilate, crucify Christ, crucify him, and let his blood be upon us and upon our children. So is that the reason why he wants to kill them? I'm asking. You know, and he says some can see and they see not, hear and they hear not.
Okay, I can't say specifically which offense, but there's some of our people he absolutely wants to punish. You understand? This precept here. I can't say if it was for that. I don't know. Maybe I was in the crowd saying that shit. Maybe you was in the crowd saying that shit. You get the point? The spirits of the prophets is subject to the prophet, but I can't say which specific offense is why. You get the point? The Bible don't say it, so I won't teach it. Go ahead.
Luke 19 and 21. For I fear thee, because thou art an austere man.
Read from 19.
Luke 19 and 19. And he said unto him likewise, be thou over 5 cities. And another came saying, Lord, behold, Here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. Verse 21. For I fear thee, because thou art an austere man.
Right? This particular servant did not multiply the pound or the talent or the money that he was given. And his reason for doing it is because he's saying, I fear because you're an austere man. Go ahead.
Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he said unto him.
What is that servant saying about Christ? Where he taketh up what he didn't put down, and he reapeth what he didn't sow.
It's like the government. You got them where they get tax, right? You run to the.
So really, what he's saying about Christ?
You're in charge.
It's like, sir, if I could.
Go ahead.
He's like saying he's extorting.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
He's like saying he's extorting the disciples or extorting the brothers.
That's what he really saying. He really saying Christ is unfair. But he masking it like, man, I have so much respect for you because you know, I feel. Listen, the reason I didn't go out there and do this because I know how hard of a man you are. I know how militant you are. Where you take up what you didn't put down and you reapest what you did not sow. It's it's passive aggressive disrespect. Keep reading. Even though Christ would do it, but he earned the right to do that shit. You listen, everybody who in here have a household. You ask your child to take something up? No, shit, not me. Still out here. I bought the shit, I paid the lights, I do everything in here. If I move this shit, you better say thank you. I paid the cost to be the boss. But the way he is saying it is a disrespect, shrouded and covered in praise. You are an austere man. You take up what you don't even put down and you reap what you did not sow. Who listening would be like, what kind of man is he? Keep reading.
Verse 22. And he said unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee.
Out of your own mouth, I'll judge you now. That's why, that's Christ. You can't come and try to slick passive praise with him without work. Out of your own, I'm austere. Okay, no sweat. Go ahead.
Thou wicked servant.
The what kind of servant?
Wicked servant.
What kind of servant?
Wicked servant.
Christian church might think he was complimenting Christ, right? It's a wicked ass bastard. Right. Go ahead.
Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with a usury?
With interest. Meaning this, if you say, according to you, I'm so austere, where I'll take up what I didn't put down, or I'll reap what I sow. If you really did fear me, like you say, you would have at least put it in the bank where I could get some interest, 1%, 1.5, which is better than nothing. The same $10 I gave you, you ain't flip it. You ain't do nothing with it. But you coming out to say I'm austere and I take shit that don't belong to me. By your own mouth will I judge you. If I'm so austere, you should have did something with my money. If I'm so austere, but you're a wicked nigga. You're wicked. You're evil. You come with this passive-aggressive bullshit because you're just lazy and don't want to do no goddamn work. That's really what it was here. You get the point? That's Christ. Right. That's Christ. You understand? If you had to portray him today, he would be Nino Brown without the drugs and the unnecessarily abuse of brothers. He would that type of thing, the type of thing that they demonize in black men. That's Christ's spirit. That's strong, straight up, honorable, on the right hand side type of brother. That's really his spirit, not the shady underneath. You know, he always say he trying to pattern the man here. He trying to pattern him here like, I fear thee because you was an austere man. That's really bullshit. And he's saying that to a man who could kill you. What does that really say? Does he really fear him? He don't respect Christ. He front like he do. He really don't. To say that. He didn't even say, Salakia, Lord, I messed up. I didn't do it. Please, let me get some more time. That's what an honest man would do. Let me get some more time with this. I ain't do it today, but let me get some more time. But you blame Christ for him not flipping the shit. The reason he ain't flipping is because Christ was so strict. If you really believe that, you would have served me with fear, with more fear and trembling. But you don't even believe that bullshit you saying. You're trying to make me sound evil, the wicked servant. That's Christ. Now that might be a little bit too much meat for the street. Get it going? Because you got to break this whole thing down. Israel don't have that wide attention span. All right? We good to go? Let me get real quick, yo. Damn. Okay, real quick, Salaki. I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes. This was supposed to be the whole class. Salaki, you'll save your questions next week for Prasha. Look up Priti Patel. Fuck. Salaki. I didn't even think I had enough time for this at all. On the ends tomorrow. You'll tune into God damn. It's too late, It's absolutely too late.
There's one quick thing you said before. You said when Christ said they must kill somebody, you said soul Judah. You didn't go into. Why?
Okay, meaning. Okay. A Judite, he's going to hold on to that thing. David did it with Joab. You understand?
Oh,
remember, Joab killed Abner.
yeah.
You remember that? And Abner was Joab. Joab was not letting go Abner killing his little brother. Now, Abner didn't murder the brother. It was literally by accident that the little brother died. It was an accident. It tells you that he was telling the brother, stop chasing after me. The little brother of Ahasel or Asahel is his name. The little brother was chasing glory. He was trying to kill a captain of Israel. He was chasing glory. And Abner was telling him, go chase somebody your rank, your weight. Don't come after me. You're not ready for me. And he kept doing it. And he ran up behind Abner, and Abner did this with his staff to push him back. Abner so goddamn strong, the staff went through his armor, the back of the staff. That's what they tell you. Abner did that with him with the back of the staff. The staff went through his armor and went through the young boy and killed him. And Abner stopped. And when that happened, the whole war stopped. Because it was like, damn, Joab's little brother died. Like shutters. When Wayne find out they kill his brother. It was like, damn, they kill his brother. Joab didn't let that shit go. Even though Abner went to David later to say, listen, I didn't know you was the king. I'm going to make sure all of Israel bends the knee to you. David agreed to the terms. David understood. Abner didn't understand what was happening. Abner was leaving, going back. Joab was coming back in. Joab's men said, hey, back to boy Abner, just leave. Let go game. He said, wait him there, bring him here. He told Abner, David wants to talk to you. Abner, thinking David calling him back, went with Joab. Joab took him somewhere else, stabbed him under his ribs, killed him. When David found out, David was angry. He was angry because he just had the kingdom. And now, how is he explaining this to the rest of Israel? What is Israel going to think? No, David set him up. Like, Abner came there for something. So, and after that, David had to go kill Israel. Because Abner was the one who damn near, the kingdom split with Saul and David. Abner was Saul's captain. Joab was David's captain. Right? So it was really Judah and the rest of Israel. But Abner had so much power over Israel. If he says something, they would follow. And if they didn't follow, he'll roll on them. And that's what he told David. He said, I'll translate the kingdom to you and make sure they listen. David agreed. Abner, because of what happened in the war, killed, Joab, because of what happened in the war, killed Abner. David was not happy about that shit. And David said, man, you're going to pay for this shit. You're going to pay. And didn't do nothing then. And David went on to build his empire, and Abner grew in power. And on David's deathbed, he told Solomon, make sure Joab does not go down to his grave easily. And that's when they send Benaniah, and Joab, he grabbed on the altar saying, you can't kill me in the altar in this holy place. And Ben and I went to work. And you could read it. David cursed his whole line. He said, cursed be his whole family for what he did, because he couldn't let that shit go. You get the point? Like, there's a right time to hold on to a grudge. And then there's a wrong time to do it. There's a right time to hold on to. There's a wrong time. Abner didn't murder his little brother. He didn't seek him out to kill him. It was an absolute accident. He was trying to, because at one time they all was captains on the sword. It was David, Abner, and Joab. Remember, David was the captain of the host. They was all together. They was all boys, and then they split. You get the point? So it's more so he's going to. You ain't escaping no justice. Sir. That's really it. You're not escaping. That shit ain't happening. That shit ain't happening. You think you're escaping some shit. That shit gonna meet you. It's going to meet you. You get the point? Like that's the law. That's his spirit. You might you live today, you live tomorrow. One day that's what gonna drop out. That's what gonna drop. So like on the time, brother, I was really wanted to bring this shit out. I ain't gonna keep you all here no longer. Tomorrow on the ends, we're gonna bring it out. Yeah, I mean England's Hong Kong problem. So like, I'll check it. In Britain, what does it mean? All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got 5% on my phone, so I'm gonna drop out about now.
So we right about done now. We're gonna do the announcement. With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Aria Allen. Clap it up. You turn the camera on, man.
Security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West Street, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3 and 8 to 10, means 1/10 in the Hebrew, Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
Day of Atonement.
Day of Atonement, Tuesday the 4th of October. Announcement, holy convocation. Okay, reminder, okay, on Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, men of Israel, I Madiam. I Madiam Shabbat. I Madiam Barak. Yehovah Shabbat. Sa, which means turn. I'm going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I Madiam Shabbat. I Madiam Barak. Yad Yamatzah with that class dismissed.